Our greatest power lies in the ability to choose our response to life's challenges. Picture this. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, faced with unending turmoil, found peace not in control, but in acceptance. He taught that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. This ancient wisdom of Stoicism isn't just historical trivia. It's a transformative tool we can all use today. In this video, we'll uncover the art of letting things happen, exploring how embracing the flow of life rather than forcing outcomes can lead to profound peace and fulfillment. Get ready to dive into the timeless teachings of Stoicism and discover how to navigate life's unpredictability with grace and strength. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Don't skip any part of the video, as this journey towards inner calm and resilience might just change your life. In Stoicism, there's a strong emphasis on distinguishing between what we can and cannot control. This starts with our thoughts. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our minds. By focusing on our thoughts, we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and composure. It's like building a mental armor that shields us from unnecessary worries and negative influences. When we understand this, we can start to see our thoughts not just as fleeting moments in our minds, but as powerful tools that shape our reality. Consider the impact of a single negative thought. It can spiral into a cascade of negativity, affecting our mood, our behavior, and even our health. On the other hand, a positive thought can inspire us, motivate us, and lead to actions that improve our lives and the lives of those around us. The Stoics were masters of this mental discipline. They practiced techniques like reflection and journaling to keep their thoughts in check. For example, the evening reflection was a common practice where they would spend time at the end of each day contemplating their thoughts and actions, identifying what went well and what could be improved. This practice allowed them to maintain a clear and focused mind, ready to face the next day with renewed strength. Moreover, the Stoics taught us that thoughts are not just abstract concepts, but tangible forces that can direct the course of our lives. By becoming aware of our thoughts and consciously guiding them, we can transform our experiences. This is not about suppressing negative thoughts, but rather about understanding them, challenging them, and ultimately transforming them into positive actions. It's a skill that takes practice, but can lead to profound changes in how we perceive and interact with the world. To put it into perspective, imagine two people facing the same challenging situation. One person is consumed by negative thoughts, believing that nothing they do will make a difference. They feel paralyzed and defeated. The other person, guided by positive thoughts, sees the challenge as an opportunity for growth. They think about past successes and believe in their ability to overcome the obstacle. This person is more likely to take proactive steps and ultimately succeed. The difference lies in their thoughts. Realizing the importance of thought is about recognizing that our inner dialogue shapes our reality. It's about taking control of our mental landscape and cultivating thoughts that lead to positive actions and outcomes. As Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics have shown us, this is a path to true happiness and fulfillment. So, start today by paying attention to your thoughts. Challenge the negative ones and nurture the positive ones. This simple yet profound shift can transform your life in ways you never imagined. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic, provides invaluable insights on this. He advises, "Here is a rule to remember in future. When anything tempts you to feel bitter, not, 'This is misfortune,' but, 'To bear this worthily is good fortune.'" This quote encapsulates the Stoic approach to transforming thoughts, changing our perspective on challenges and adversity. At its core, transforming your thoughts involves recognizing that our spontaneous thoughts often come with value judgments that can be misleading and harmful. These judgments are immediate and automatic, labeling experiences as good or bad, fun or boring, successful or failing. The problem is that these judgments are rarely based on the full picture and are often clouded by our emotions and biases. The Stoics teach us that our thoughts are not shaped by reality, but by our perception of it. By changing our perception, we can change our thoughts and consequently our lives. Consider how often we let a single negative thought shape our entire day. If you wake up and immediately think, "Today is going to be awful," that thought sets the tone for everything that follows. It colors your interactions, your decisions, and your overall mood. But what if you could catch that thought and transform it? Instead of, "Today is going to be awful," you could think, "Today might have challenges, but I can handle them." This simple shift can change your entire outlook and experience of the day. One of the Stoic practices for transforming thoughts is to question and challenge them. When you have a negative thought, don't just accept it as true. Reflect on it. Ask yourself if the thought is reasonable, if it is based on facts, or if it is influenced by temporary emotions. For example, after a tough meeting at work, you might think, "I'm terrible at my job." But is that thought reasonable? Was it just one difficult meeting out of many successful ones? Are you letting one experience overshadow your overall competence and achievements? Another powerful Stoic technique is reframing. Reframing involves taking a negative thought and finding a more constructive way to look at it. For instance, if you think, "I failed, and there's no point in trying again," you can reframe it to, "Failure is an opportunity to learn and improve. I can try again with more wisdom." This technique helps you see setbacks as part of the growth process rather than as final judgments on your abilities. The practice of gratitude also plays a significant role in transforming thoughts. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, from negative aspects to positive ones. When you start feeling overwhelmed by negative thoughts, take a moment to list things you're grateful for. This practice can instantly change your mood and perspective, helping you see the abundance and opportunities in your life rather than the challenges and deficiencies. Furthermore, Stoics emphasize the importance of living in accordance with nature and understanding our role within the larger context of the world. This broader perspective can help transform our thoughts by reminding us that we are part of something greater and that our individual experiences, while significant, are just one piece of the larger puzzle. It encourages us to accept what we cannot change and focus on what we can control, our thoughts and action. In practical terms, transforming your thoughts might also involve regular journaling, a practice that many Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, engaged in. Writing down your thoughts allows you to examine them objectively, understand their origins, and decide how you want to address them. It's a way to declutter your mind and gain clarity. Learning to transform your thoughts is about recognizing the power of perception, questioning and reframing negative thoughts, practicing gratitude, and understanding your place in the larger scheme of things. By adopting these Stoic principles, you can cultivate a mindset that not only endures, but thrives in the face of life's challenges. This shift in thinking is not just a mental exercise, but a profound way to reshape your entire approach to life, leading to greater peace, resilience, and fulfillment. The term premeditatio malorum translates to premeditation of evils or anticipation of adversity, and it was a technique regularly employed by Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics to foster resilience and mental fortitude. Imagine starting each day by acknowledging that things might not go as planned. Marcus Aurelius would wake up and remind himself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." This might sound pessimistic, but it served a crucial purpose. It prepared him mentally for the inevitable frustrations and challenges of daily life. By expecting difficulties, he could approach them with calmness and equanimity when they arose, rather than being caught off guard. The idea behind premeditatio malorum is not to dwell on negative outcomes, but to mentally rehearse how you would handle them. This practice builds psychological resilience. When we visualize potential setbacks and plan our responses, we reduce the shock and emotional impact when those setbacks occur. It's similar to how athletes visualize their performance before a game. They prepare for various scenarios, which enhances their actual performance. Consider a simple analogy. Think of premeditatio malorum as a mental fire drill. Just as practicing a fire drill prepares you to act swiftly and calmly in an actual emergency, mentally rehearsing how you would handle difficulties prepares you to face real-life challenges with greater composure and effectiveness. It's about building a mental muscle that allows you to remain steady and focused under pressure. This technique is deeply rooted in the Stoic understanding of what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics believe that while we cannot control external events, we can control our reactions to them. By anticipating potential problems and deciding in advance how to respond, we take proactive control over our emotional and mental states. This aligns with the Stoic goal of achieving a tranquil mind, undisturbed by external chaos. Premeditatio malorum can be applied to various aspects of life. For instance, before a significant meeting or presentation, you might consider the possible challenges. What if the technology fails? What if you forget your main points? By thinking through these scenarios and planning your responses, you can approach the event with greater confidence and less anxiety. You've already faced these challenges in your mind, so they're less intimidating in reality. Moreover, this practice can enhance our gratitude. When we contemplate potential misfortunes, we often realize how much we take for granted. This reflection can deepen our appreciation for what we have and foster a greater sense of gratitude for the present moment. It shifts our focus from what could go wrong to what is currently going right, balancing our perspective. A practical way to incorporate premeditatio malorum into your daily routine is through journaling. Spend a few minutes each morning writing down potential challenges you might face that day and how you would ideally respond to them. This simple exercise can set a tone of preparedness and calmness for the rest of the day. Additionally, it's beneficial to periodically reflect on past adversities and how you handled them. This reflection can reveal patterns in your responses, highlight areas for improvement, and reinforce your resilience. By recognizing that you have successfully navigated challenges before, you build confidence in your ability to handle future difficulties. Practicing premeditatio malorum is about embracing the reality that life is unpredictable and often challenging. By mentally preparing for these challenges, we can face them with greater strength and serenity. This Stoic practice helps us build resilience, maintain control over our emotional responses, and foster a deeper appreciation for the present. It's a powerful tool for anyone looking to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. So, the next time you anticipate a tough day, remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and prepare your mind for the journey ahead. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this when he said, "Give yourself a gift, the present moment." This statement is a call to embrace the here and now, to fully immerse ourselves in the current moment, free from the regrets of the past and the anxieties of the future. The Stoics believe that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is unchangeable, and the future is uncertain. Dwelling too much on either robs us of the peace and clarity that come from being fully engaged with the present. When we focus on the present, we can better appreciate the world around us, the people we interact with, and the tasks we undertake. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the here and now, rather than postponing happiness for some uncertain future. Consider the way we often get lost in our thoughts about what has already happened or what might happen. We replay past mistakes or anticipate future problems, and this mental chatter keeps us from truly experiencing life. For example, how often have you been in a conversation but found yourself thinking about what you need to do later or regretting something you said earlier? This robs you of the ability to connect genuinely with the person in front of you and to fully appreciate the interaction. Living in the present also means letting go of the need to control everything. The Stoics taught that we should accept what is outside our control and focus on what we can influence, our own thoughts and actions. This acceptance can be incredibly liberating. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we reduce our stress and anxiety, allowing ourselves to be more at peace with whatever comes our way. It's about finding serenity in the midst of chaos by anchoring ourselves in the present moment. One practical way to live in the present is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. This can be done through simple exercises like focusing on your breath, observing your surroundings, or engaging in a task with full attention. By practicing mindfulness, we train our minds to return to the present whenever they start to wander. This can greatly enhance our ability to stay focused and calm, even in stressful situations. The practice of mindfulness has been shown to have numerous benefits, including reduced stress, improved emotional regulation, and increased overall well-being. When we are mindful, we are better able to handle life's challenges with grace and resilience. We become more attuned to our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to respond rather than react impulsively. Another way to cultivate living in the present is through gratitude. Taking time each day to reflect on what we are grateful for helps shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This practice can bring a sense of abundance and contentment. When we appreciate the small moments of joy and beauty in our daily lives, we anchor ourselves more firmly in the present. Moreover, living in the present encourages us to fully engage with our activities, no matter how mundane they may seem. The Stoics believed in doing every task, no matter how small, with excellence and attention. This means being fully present in whatever you are doing, whether it's washing the dishes, working on a project, or spending time with loved ones. By giving our full attention to our current activity, we can find satisfaction and purpose in every moment. It's also important to recognize the impact of technology on our ability to live in the present. Our constant connectivity can pull us out of the moment as we check emails, social media, and messages. Setting boundaries with technology and creating moments of disconnection can help us reclaim our presence. This might mean having device-free times, such as during meals or before bed, to fully engage with our surroundings and the people we are with. Living in the present is about embracing the here and now, letting go of past regrets and future anxieties, and focusing on what we can control, our thoughts and actions. By practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and fully engaging with our activities, we can cultivate a deeper sense of peace, fulfillment, and resilience. As Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics have shown us, the present moment is a precious gift, and learning to live in it can transform our lives. Marcus Aurelius, despite his responsibilities as a Roman emperor, took time each day to reflect on the simple privilege of being alive. He said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This profound sense of gratitude is not just about acknowledging the good things in life, but about fostering a deeper appreciation for every moment and experience. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, creating a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind and overlook the small joys and blessings that surround us. By consciously practicing gratitude, we train our minds to see the positives, even in challenging situations. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but rather recognizing that there is always something to be thankful for, even in the midst of adversity. One effective way to practice gratitude is by keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. These can be anything from significant achievements to small everyday pleasures, like a beautiful sunset or a kind gesture from a friend. This simple exercise helps to build a habit of looking for the good in each day, reinforcing a positive outlook and fostering a sense of contentment. Expressing gratitude to others is another powerful practice. Take the time to thank the people around you, your family, friends, colleagues, even strangers who have shown you kindness. This not only strengthens your relationships, but also reinforces your awareness of the interconnectedness of your life with others. Gratitude has a ripple effect. When we express it, we often inspire others to do the same, creating a more positive and supportive environment. In the context of Stoicism, gratitude also involves accepting and appreciating the present moment as it is, without longing for what is not. This is encapsulated in the Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate. It's about embracing all aspects of life, including the challenges and setbacks, as part of our journey. By viewing everything that happens to us as an opportunity for growth and learning, we can cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the entirety of our experience. Gratitude can also be a powerful antidote to negative emotions like envy and resentment. When we focus on what we have and appreciate it fully, we are less likely to feel envious of others. Envy arises from a sense of lack, but gratitude reminds us of our abundance. Similarly, Resentment often stems from unmet expectations and perceived injustices. Practicing gratitude shifts our perspective, helping us to let go of these negative feelings and embrace a more positive and forgiving outlook. Moreover, gratitude has numerous psychological and physical benefits. Research has shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience better sleep, lower stress levels, and improved mental health. Gratitude enhances our overall well-being by promoting a positive mindset and reducing the impact of negative emotions. It helps us build resilience, enabling us to bounce back from setbacks more effectively. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine doesn't require drastic changes. It can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning to reflect on what you are thankful for, or ending your day with a gratitude meditation. This practice aligns with the Stoic tradition of reflection and mindfulness, encouraging us to live with intention and awareness. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to enrich our lives and align with the principles of Stoicism. By focusing on what we have, expressing appreciation to others, and embracing all aspects of our experiences, we can cultivate a mindset of abundance and contentment. Gratitude helps us navigate life's challenges with grace, build stronger relationships, and enhance our overall well-being. In the chaos of life, there is always a chance to find clarity. This idea, inspired by Sun Tzu's wisdom, ties perfectly into the Stoic approach we're exploring today. Imagine staying calm and steady while the world around you feels out of control. That's the power of Stoicism. And it all starts with mastering silence. Silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's the presence of inner peace and strength. In a noisy, fast-paced world, learning to embrace quiet can give you clarity, focus, and resilience. The Stoics used silence as a tool, not just to retreat, but to reflect, learn, and grow stronger. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the noise of daily life or craved a sense of calm and control, this is for you. Today, we'll uncover how the art of silence can help you find peace in the chaos and use that stillness to build inner strength. Let's take this journey together and embrace the power of pause. If you're ready to transform your mindset and discover the wisdom of silence, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned until the end. Right, there's so much to uncover. Let's dive in. Number 1, eliminate distractions. In our constantly connected, always-on world, distractions are not just nuisances. They're barriers to our inner peace and clarity. They fragment our attention, scatter our focus, and frankly, keep us from truly engaging with the profound wisdom that Stoicism offers. But here's where the beauty of Stoic philosophy really shines through. It teaches us not just to endure hardships, but to transform our environment proactively, starting with our minds. Think about it. When we clear away the clutter, the incessant pings, the endless streams of notifications, what are we left with? We're left with space to think, to reflect, to delve deep into the teachings of great Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus, who knew the value of solitude and contemplation. Now, you might wonder, how do we start this process of eliminating distractions? It begins with intentionality. It's about making conscious choices to filter what demands our attention. This could mean setting specific times to check emails or social media, creating a serene workspace, or simply embracing moments of stillness throughout your day. The goal here is not to shun the modern world, but to navigate it with purpose and discernment, much like a Stoic would. But there's more to it than just managing external noise. Eliminating distractions is also about silencing the inner chatter, the doubts, the fears, the endless what-ifs that cloud our judgment and peace. Stoicism offers us tools for this too, urging us to focus on what's within our control and let go of what isn't. This inner tranquility, free from distraction, is where true wisdom flourishes. And let's not forget, when we minimize distractions, we're not just benefiting ourselves, we're improving our relationships, our work, our creativity. We become more present, more attentive, more engaged with the world around us. This presence, this full engagement with the moment, is a gift that allows us to live richer, more meaningful lives. So, I encourage you to embrace this Stoic practice. Not start small, maybe by dedicating a part of your day to silence and reflection, free from the digital world's pull. Notice the difference it makes, how it changes your interactions, your thoughts, your decisions. This is the path to a more focused, serene, and stoic life. Number 2. Silence causes confusion for the opponent. Silence holds a power so unique it can truly unsettle those around us, especially when they're trying to read your next move. Imagine you're in a tense situation, maybe a negotiation or a debate, and instead of responding quickly or defensively, you choose silence. This isn't about being passive. No, it's a strategic choice, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics, after all, were masters of control, not just of their actions, but their reactions too. Now, think about this. When you're silent, the other person is left to wonder, to guess, and to doubt. They're thrown off their game. They're in the dark, trying to figure out what you're thinking, what you're planning. And that uncertainty, it's a powerful tool you have. In a way, silence can be louder and more impactful than words ever could be. But here's the real beauty of it. While they're lost in this sea of confusion, you're not just sitting there. You're observing, analyzing, and planning your next move with a clear mind. You're in control. This strategic silence gives you the space to think, to breathe, and to approach the situation with a calmness and clarity that can only come from within. This approach isn't just about gaining the upper hand. It's about embodying the Stoic virtues of wisdom and temperance. It's about understanding that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. And in that silence, you're not just confusing your opponent, you're also giving yourself the opportunity to listen, really listen, to what's being said, and perhaps more importantly, to what's not being said. So, the next time you find yourself in a challenging situation, remember the power of silence. Embrace it. Let it be your shield and your strategy. Let it reflect your inner Stoic, someone who is unfazed by external pressures and focused on internal strength. And remember, in the realm of Stoicism, it's not just about what we say or do, it's about how we react, how we adapt, and how we maintain our composure, our dignity, and our resolve. Number 3, silence attracts attention. Ever noticed how a pause in conversation makes everyone listen more intently? It's like a pause in a symphony, the space between notes that makes the music resonate deeper. This is the power of silence, a concept that Stoicism holds in high regard because it embodies the virtue of restraint and conscious action. Or in this case, conscious inaction. When we choose silence, especially in moments where words are expected to flood in, we create a presence that is both intriguing and commanding. Think about a heated debate or a bustling meeting room. When someone chooses not to speak but to listen intently, their silence speaks volumes. It creates a magnetic pull, drawing others' attention and curiosity. What are they thinking? Why aren't they speaking? This mystery can give you a subtle form of control and influence in any interaction. But let's dive deeper into the Stoic essence of this concept. Stoicism teaches us to value quality over quantity, substance over superficiality. By applying this to our communication, we recognize that our words should be meaningful, chosen with care, not scattered carelessly. When we do speak, our words have more impact because they emerge from a place of thoughtful consideration, not impulsive reaction. Moreover, silence encourages others to project their thoughts and feelings onto it, creating an opportunity for greater understanding and empathy. In silence, we offer others the space to express themselves, and in doing so, we gain insights into their perspectives and motivations. This can be incredibly powerful, whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or even in our internal dialogue. Now, embracing silence doesn't mean we become passive observers of our own lives. On the contrary, it's an active, deliberate choice. It's about knowing when to speak and when to let silence do the talking. This discernment is a core Stoic virtue, reflecting a deep understanding of the rhythm of human interaction and the value of each word we choose to share or withhold. In a practical sense, cultivating the ability to harness silence can enhance our lives in myriad ways. It can de-escalate conflicts, foster deeper connections, and even boost our mental well-being by providing moments of necessary respite. It's a tool, a skill that we can develop and refine over time, guided by Stoic principles that advocate for a balanced, thoughtful approach to life. Number 4. Silence builds strength. In our bustling world, where action and noise are often equated with power and productivity, embracing silence can seem counterintuitive. Yet it is in the quiet moments that we find the true reservoirs of our strength, a concept deeply embedded in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism teaches us the value of introspection and inner calm, virtues that are nurtured in silence. Stoicism. It is when we step away from the clamor of the external world that we can hear our own thoughts more clearly, understand our emotions, and determine the direction of our will. Silence offers us a sanctuary where our minds can rest and grow stronger, not distracted or diluted by incessant noise. Think of silence as a form of mental training. Just as a bodybuilder lifts weights to strengthen muscles, a Stoic uses silence to fortify the mind. In this quietude, we practice resilience, learning to be with ourselves, to confront our inner chaos without flinching, and to emerge more centered and grounded. It's in these moments of solitude that we build the mental fortitude to face whatever life throws at us. Moreover, silence fosters clarity. It allows us to sift through our priorities, to distinguish between what is essential and what is noise. This clarity is a form of strength, providing us with the insight to act not impulsively, but with purpose and intention. Our decisions become more deliberate, our actions more meaningful, and our lives more aligned with our core values. But let's delve deeper. Silence is not just about being alone or inactive. It's an active engagement with our inner selves. It's about listening to our thoughts, our feelings, our intuition. In these silent dialogues, we discover truths about ourselves, learning what truly matters to us, what drives us, and where our convictions lie. The silence of the mind forces us to make sense of things that seem horribly confusing at the time. This self-acknowledgement is a powerful form of strength, equipping us with the confidence to make choices that are right for us, irrespective of external pressures or expectations. And here's something fascinating. The strength we build in silence doesn't just benefit us. It radiates outward, influencing our relationships and interactions. When we are centered and clear, we bring a sense of calm and assurance to our dealings with others. Our words carry more weight because they arise from a place of deep reflection. Our presence becomes more impactful, marked by the serenity and purpose that Stoicism advocates. Number 5. Silence in negotiations. In any negotiation, the words we choose to speak are crucial. But equally important are the moments we choose to remain silent. This strategic use of silence can create an aura of calm and control, often leading the other party to reveal more than they intended. It's a moment that invites reflection, not just for us, but for those who are engaging with us, pushing the negotiation into deeper realms of thought and strategy. Now, from a Stoic perspective, silence in negotiations isn't about manipulation or gamesmanship. It's about harnessing our inner tranquility, giving ourselves the time to respond with wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. When we pause, we're not just buying time, we're asserting our control over the situation, anchoring ourselves in the present, and carefully considering our next move. But there's more to it than just tactical advantage. Silence reflects a respect for the words yet to be spoken, an acknowledgement of their weight and potential impact. By pausing, we signal to our counterparts that we are thoughtful and deliberate, qualities that command respect and attention in any setting. Moreover, this practice of intentional silence aligns beautifully with the Stoic emphasis on listening, a skill just as vital in negotiations as eloquence or persuasion. When we listen, truly listen, we gain insights into the other party's needs, fears, and desires. This understanding can guide us to mutually beneficial outcomes, solutions that respect the interests of all parties involved. But how do we cultivate this powerful tool of silence? It begins with self-awareness, another cornerstone of Stoicism. By understanding our tendencies, triggers, and habits, we can better control our impulses to speak. It also requires confidence, the belief in the value of our perspective, and the strength to let it stand uncluttered by unnecessary words. In practice, silence can take many forms in negotiations. It can be a pause after a significant statement, allowing its implications to resonate. It can be a quiet moment to regroup when discussions become heated or complex. Or it can be a space we create for others to fill, providing them the opportunity to disclose, ponder, or concede. Number 6. Freedom from pride and arrogance. In the pursuit of Stoicism, we strive for an understanding that, despite our achievements or status, we are all part of the vast tapestry of existence, interconnected and interdependent. This realization is liberating. It frees us from the shackles of ego, allowing us to experience life more fully and to engage with others more authentically. But what does it mean to be free from pride or arrogance? It doesn't mean undervaluing ourselves or negating our worth. Rather, it's about recognizing our strengths and limitations with equal clarity and composure. It's understanding that our accomplishments do not make us superior to others, and that our failures do not define us. This Stoic principle invites us to navigate life with a sense of equanimity, to treat successes and setbacks with the same calm detachment. It encourages us not to boast about our achievements, but to let our actions speak for themselves. When we do so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace, because our self-worth is no longer tied to external validation or comparison. Moreover, when we embrace humility, we open ourselves to learning and growth. We become better listeners, more empathetic friends, and more compassionate community members. We acknowledge that everyone has something to teach us, and we approach each interaction with a willingness to learn. In practice, freeing ourselves from pride or arrogance involves regular self-reflection, a key component of Stoicism. We examine our motivations, question our assumptions, and strive to align our actions with our deeper values. We remind ourselves of our shared humanity, recognizing that, like everyone else, we are flawed, finite, and fallible. Embracing this Stoic virtue also enhances our relationships. When we let go of the need to always be right or to appear superior, we create space for more genuine connections. We listen more attentively, respond more thoughtfully, and engage more meaningfully. We become more approachable, more relatable, and, often, more appreciated. Number 7. Kindness and consideration for others. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of all people, the notion that we're all part of the same human community. By showing kindness and consideration, we're not just acting benevolently, we're recognizing and respecting this deep connection. Kindness, in the Stoic sense, isn't about grand gestures or seeking recognition. It's about the small, everyday acts of empathy, the moments when we choose patience over frustration, understanding over judgment. It's about considering the impact of our words and actions on others, choosing to uplift rather than undermine, to support rather than criticize. Consideration, on the other hand, goes a step further. It's about actively putting ourselves in others' shoes, understanding their perspectives, struggles, and aspirations. When we interact with others from a place of genuine consideration, we create space for meaningful connections, fostering mutual respect and trust. But why is this so important? Well, in practicing kindness and consideration, we not only enrich the lives of others, but we also cultivate our own inner peace and satisfaction. Stoicism teaches us that our own well-being is intrinsically linked to our actions and attitudes toward others. By choosing kindness, we align ourselves with Stoic values, promoting harmony both within and around us. Furthermore, this kind and considerate approach can have a ripple effect, inspiring others to act similarly and creating a more compassionate, understanding community. Imagine the impact if each of us chose to act with a little more kindness, a little more consideration. The collective outcome could be transformative. So how can we embody these principles in our daily lives? Why, start with yourself. In the morning you wake up, you choose whatever activities you think will help you feel better, lighter, and more positive. It starts with mindfulness, being aware of our interactions and the opportunities we have to show kindness and consideration. It involves pausing before reacting, choosing responses that reflect the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Number 8, the art of deep listening. In our cacophonous lives where distractions abound and everyone seems to be vying for the last word, truly listening, deeply, empathetically listening, is a rare skill. Yet, it's a skill that aligns beautifully with Stoic philosophy, which values understanding, empathy, and the pursuit of wisdom. Deep listening goes beyond merely hearing the words others say. It's about engaging with the essence of their message, the emotions and intentions behind their words. It's listening not just with the intent to reply, but with the intent to understand. And in this understanding, we find a profound connection to the Stoic ideals of empathy and rationality. When we listen deeply, we afford others the respect and attention they deserve, recognizing their inherent value as fellow human beings. This is a practice of Stoic compassion, acknowledging that, just like us, others have their own struggles, perspectives, and stories that are worth understanding. But the benefits of deep listening extend far beyond fostering empathy and respect. By truly listening, we open ourselves up to new insights and perspectives. We become better learners, better problem solvers, and better friends and colleagues. We're able to absorb and process more information, which in turn can inform our actions and decisions, aligning them closer with the Stoic virtues of wisdom and moderation. So how can we cultivate this art of deep listening? First, it starts with intention. Approach each conversation with the mindset that you have something to learn. This shifts the focus from your own desire to speak to a genuine curiosity about what the other person has to say. Next, practice presence. In our world of constant notifications and multitasking, giving someone your full, undivided attention is a powerful gift. It means putting aside your phone, muting distractions, and engaging fully with the person in front of you. Remember, listening is not just about the ears. It's about the eyes, the body, and the mind. It's about showing with your entire being that you are truly there and truly care. Moreover, deep listening involves patience and self-control, Stoic virtues that help us resist the urge to interrupt, judge, or formulate our responses while the other person is still speaking. It's about holding space for their words, allowing them to express themselves fully before you respond. And finally, it's about reflection. After listening, take a moment to consider what you've heard. Reflect on the message, the emotions, and the underlying meaning. This reflection not only deepens your understanding, but also allows you to respond with thoughtfulness and care, embodying the Stoic ideal of measured, considered action. Number 9. The art of reflective wisdom. This concept isn't just about accumulating knowledge or having quick answers. It's about cultivating a deep, thoughtful understanding of our experiences, our values, and the world around us. Reflective wisdom is a cornerstone of Stoicism, enabling us to live with intention, make considered choices, and grow toward our ideal selves. Reflective wisdom begins with introspection. It's a practice that asks us to pause, turn inward, and examine our thoughts, actions, and reactions. This isn't always easy. It requires honesty, vulnerability, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. But this process is vital. It helps us understand our motivations, identify our biases, and clarify our values. In essence, it allows us to know ourselves more deeply. But reflective wisdom isn't a solitary journey. Stoicism teaches us that our lives are interconnected with others and the world at large. Therefore, our reflection must also consider our relationships, our role in society, and our impact on the world. How do our actions align with the greater good? Are we contributing to harmony or discord? This broader perspective ensures that our wisdom is not just self-serving, but serves a higher communal purpose. Now, let's talk about the application of this wisdom. Reflective wisdom isn't just theoretical, it's immensely practical. It informs our choices, guides our actions, and shapes our interactions. When we act from a place of reflective wisdom, our decisions are more thoughtful, our actions more deliberate, and our words more measured. We become more resilient in the face of adversity, more composed under pressure, and more adaptable to change. These are the marks of a Stoic, someone who navigates life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity, self-control, tranquility, and peace, rather than anger or conflicting emotions. Wisdom. But how can we cultivate this reflective wisdom? It starts with creating space for regular reflection. This could be a daily review of your actions and decisions, journaling, or engaging in thoughtful discussion with others. It's about asking hard questions and being open to wherever the answers might lead. It's about learning from the past, being present in the now, and considering the future. Another key aspect is embracing a learner's mindset. Life is our greatest teacher, and every experience, whether joyful, painful, or mundane, has something to teach us. By adopting a posture of curiosity and openness, we can extract valuable lessons from all aspects of our lives, growing in understanding and wisdom. Number 10, resilience and adversity. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain or denying our struggles. Instead, it's about confronting adversity head-on, learning from it, and emerging stronger and wiser on the other side. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. This response, rooted in clarity, reason, and virtue, is what forges true resilience. But how do we cultivate this resilience? First, it starts with acceptance. Stoicism encourages us to embrace reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. This means acknowledging our adversities without judgment or self-pity. When we face our challenges with acceptance, we conserve our energy for what truly matters, our response and growth. Next, we draw on the power of perspective. The Stoics believe that our judgments about events cause more distress than the events themselves. By adopting a broader perspective, we can see our adversities as part of a larger narrative, one that includes growth, learning, and the potential for transformation. This perspective doesn't diminish our pain, but places it in a context that fosters resilience. Now let's talk about the role of community in building resilience. While Stoicism emphasizes personal virtue and inner strength, it also recognizes our interdependence. We grow and overcome not in isolation, but in the company of others, sharing our struggles, offering support, and receiving wisdom from those who have faced similar trials, strengthen our resilience. These connections remind us that we're not alone in our journey. Life's most challenging truth is often this: the only barrier between where you are and where you want to be is your decision to rise. It's not luck, it's not perfect timing, and it's not even raw talent. It's you, right here, right now, choosing to believe you're capable of more. This isn't about waiting for the stars to align or for life to hand you an opportunity. The Stoics knew better. Epictetus taught that while we can't control external events, we always control how we respond to them. And today, we're focusing on one of the most transformative responses you can have: the decision to act as if you're the best. Let's be honest, doubt is universal. That nagging voice whispering you're not ready, not qualified, not enough. But what if you didn't need to wait until you felt ready? What if the secret to becoming the best was deciding to carry yourself like you already are? The truth is, progress isn't made by waiting for the perfect moment. It's made by stepping forward, with confidence and intent, even when the path ahead feels uncertain. Marcus Aurelius, in his daily reflections, reminded himself to focus on his own actions and to embody virtue in all circumstances. That's what we're diving into today, the mindset shift that can reshape how you face challenges, pursue goals, and live your life. This isn't about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about unlocking your full potential by embracing the power you already have. If this resonates with you, I have a small favor to ask. Hit the subscribe button. It's free, and it helps us bring more of this content to people like you. Now let's get started. 1. The power of deciding to be the best. The moment you decide to live up to your full potential is the moment your life starts to change. It's not about waiting for the right opportunity or hoping for external circumstances to improve. It's about making an internal decision, a decision to show up every day as the best version of yourself. This idea echoes the teachings of the Stoics, who believe that our true power lies in how we choose to approach life. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The decision to be the best begins with that mindset. This mindset isn't about being perfect or better than others. It's about setting a standard for yourself and committing to continuous growth. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, constantly reminded himself to act with virtue, not for glory or praise, but because it was the right thing to do. He believed that every day was an opportunity to strive for excellence, not in competition with others, but in competition with his own potential. When you decide to be the best, you're not saying you'll never make mistakes or face challenges. The Stoics were clear that life is full of obstacles, but they also believed that these obstacles are what shape us. By deciding to be the best, you choose to face those challenges head-on, using them as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. This is where your life starts to transform. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making the choice now, in this moment, to act with purpose and confidence. From this decision, everything else flows. You raise your standards, your actions align with your goals, and you begin to move closer to the person you know you can be. That's the power of deciding to be the best. 2. What if I'm not the best? Some of you might be thinking, but I'm not the best. I'm nowhere close. How can I act as if I am? And that's completely understandable. It's natural to feel like you're not at the top. But here's the thing. You don't have to be the best to act like the best. The beauty of this mindset is that it works even when you're not at the top. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean pretending or being delusional. It's about shifting your mindset to unlock your full potential, and that starts with how you view yourself. This aligns perfectly with Stoicism. The Stoics believed that we have control over our mindset and how we respond to life's challenges. So, even if you're not the best right now, you can still choose to carry yourself with confidence, discipline, and purpose, traits that the best exemplify. When you act as if you're the best, something powerful starts to happen. You begin to believe it, and when you believe it, you start to become it. This isn't some magical thinking or false confidence. It's a proven psychological shift that affects your actions. The Stoics taught us that our beliefs shape our behaviors. When we act as if we are capable and competent, we become more so. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy, a concept the Stoics were well aware of. Take a job interview, for example. If you walk in nervous, doubting yourself and thinking you're not good enough, you're likely going to perform poorly. But if you walk in with the mindset that you are the best person for the job, carrying yourself with confidence, speaking clearly about your skills, and believing in your value, that changes everything. Even if you don't get the job, that shift in mindset prepares you for the next opportunity. You've practiced confidence and built resilience, which will serve you moving forward. So, when you say to yourself, "I'm not the best," the Stoics would remind you, that's not the point. The point is to act as if you are. By doing so, you align your actions with the person you want to become, and your ability to control your life will improve. So, the goal isn't to be perfect, but to continuously strive for excellence, always improving, just as Stoic philosophy teaches us. 3. Why acting like you're the best matters. When I say act as if you are the best, I don't mean strutting around like you're better than everyone else. Far from it. Acting like you're the best isn't about looking down on others or becoming arrogant. It's about holding yourself to the highest possible standard and striving for excellence, not for external validation, but for your own growth. So when I say act as if you're the best, I'm talking about adopting the mindset of someone who is already at the top of their game. This is the kind of mindset we're after. Acting like you're the best isn't about pretending to know everything or never making mistakes. It's about showing up with the belief that you are fully capable of handling whatever comes your way. This belief shapes your actions. When you believe you're the best, you act like it. You carry yourself with confidence, and people notice. The Stoics would remind us that this confidence isn't external, it's internal. It comes from knowing that you're living in alignment with your values and doing your best in every situation. The key difference here is that arrogance seeks to elevate you above others, but acting like you're the best is about lifting yourself up to your own highest potential. It's about striving for excellence while staying humble and grounded, just like the Stoics taught. You're not aiming for perfection, but for progress, always working on yourself, always learning, and always moving forward. Or practice makes reality. When you hear the phrase, act as if you're the best, it might feel like pretending at first, and maybe, in a sense, it is. But here's the truth. What you consistently practice becomes your reality. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca famously said, "We become what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This means that the more you practice something, whether it's confidence, discipline, or resilience, the more it becomes part of who you are. Let's break this down. When you start acting as if you're the best, it might feel unnatural. You might think, who am I to carry myself with such confidence? But the beauty of human nature is that we are incredibly adaptable. The Stoics believed that we are shaped by our thoughts and actions. If you consistently act with confidence, you start to feel more confident. If you make disciplined choices in your life, over time, you become more disciplined. While away this summer, it's not about faking it forever. It's about practicing the qualities you want to embody until they become second nature. Think of it like building a muscle. At first, lifting weights feels hard, even uncomfortable, but as you keep practicing, your strength grows. Acting as if you're the best works the same way. Each time you practice it, you reinforce that mindset, and eventually it becomes less of an act and more of a habit. The Stoics understood this process. Epictetus often reminded his students that we have control over how we respond to the world. By practicing virtuous actions, we align our inner selves with the kind of person we want to become. Let's say you want to become more confident in social situations. At first, you might feel awkward, like you're putting on a show. But the more you practice standing tall, speaking clearly, and engaging with others, the more you begin to feel that confidence. Eventually, it stops feeling like an act, and you realize that you've actually become more comfortable in these situations. The same goes for any area of life. If you practice making healthy choices, over time you become someone who naturally lives a healthier lifestyle. If you practice managing your finances well, you eventually become someone who is financially secure. The Stoic idea of practicing virtue teaches us that we don't have to wait for change to happen. We can create it through our daily actions. The key is consistency. It's not about doing it once and expecting a transformation. It's about showing up every day and practicing the qualities that align with your highest potential. Over time, what started as practice becomes your reality. You become the best version of yourself by repeatedly acting like it. As the Stoics taught, your actions shape your character, and your character shapes your life. So, Keep practicing because your reality is being built by what you do each day. 5. Continuous growth. The Stoics believed in the importance of continuous growth, and that's exactly what this mindset is all about. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean you think you've reached perfection or that you can stop improving. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about committing to a life of constant learning, discipline, and refinement. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This means that no matter how good you become, there's always room for growth. The best people in any field, whether it's a skilled athlete, a successful business person, or a wise philosopher, never stop improving. They remain students of life. When you act as if you're the best, you're committing to this same process of mastery. You're saying, "I'm going to carry myself like the best, and I'm going to put in the work to become the best." This mindset is rooted in humility, not arrogance. The Stoics valued humility deeply. Marcus Aurelius, despite being one of the most powerful men in the world, constantly reminded himself to stay grounded and continue improving. He didn't see his position as the end of the road, but as a responsibility to strive for personal excellence every day. When you adopt this mindset, you're doing the same. You're striving to be better today than you were yesterday, knowing that growth is a lifelong pursuit. Acting as if you're the best means raising your own standards. It means taking responsibility for your personal development in every area of life. In your relationships, for example, it's about asking yourself, what would the best version of me do? How would the best partner, the best friend, or the best parent behave? It's not about pretending to be perfect, but about continuously working to improve and show up as the best version of yourself. It's about continuously working to improve and show up as the best version of yourself. In your health, it means acting as if you're in the best shape of your life. How would you treat your body if you believed you were capable of achieving peak health? What choices would you make in terms of your diet, exercise, and habits? The Stoic path is one of self-discipline and making intentional choices that lead to long-term well-being. 6. Facing weakness. Embracing your shortcomings. When we talk about acting as if you're the best, it's easy to think it means ignoring your flaws or pretending they don't exist. But in reality, it's the opposite. Acting like you're the best means having the courage to face your weaknesses head-on and use them as opportunities for growth. The Stoics were masters at this. They taught that self-awareness and honest reflection are essential for improvement. Healthy, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By the time of his death, Marcus Aurelius had become part of that power is understanding where we fall short. Not to feel ashamed, but to learn and grow. The best people in any field aren't those who believe they're flawless. They are the ones who understand their shortcomings better than anyone else. But they don't let those shortcomings define them. Instead, they use them as motivation to keep improving. The Stoics believed in embracing challenges and discomfort as part of life's natural course. Epictetus reminded us that the path to mastery requires us to face obstacles with resilience. When we see our weaknesses clearly, we can approach them with a mindset of progress. Think about it this way. If you ignore your weaknesses, they don't go away. In fact, they tend to grow bigger and more disruptive over time. But if you acknowledge them and take steps to improve, you become stronger. The Stoics didn't see weakness as failure. They saw it as an opportunity to practice arete, which means striving for excellence. When you face your weaknesses, you're giving yourself the chance to become better, more disciplined, and more capable. This process requires humility. Acting like you're the best doesn't mean you think you're perfect. It means you're committed to continuous growth. You can be confident in your strengths while being fully aware of where you need to improve. The Stoics, especially Seneca, often wrote about the importance of learning from every experience, even failures. In fact, Seneca believed that failure and setbacks are often our greatest teachers. They reveal where we need to grow and push us to develop the skills or mindset we might lack. The key is to see your weaknesses not as something to be ashamed of, but as a natural part of your development. By facing them with honesty and a desire to improve, you take control of your growth. This is where true strength lies, in the ability to confront what's holding you back and work to overcome it. And the Stoic approach is to view life's challenges, including your own shortcomings, as fuel for becoming a better, more resilient person. When you act as if you're the best, you're not pretending to be perfect. Instead, you're showing that you have the strength to face your weaknesses, learn from them, and grow into the person you aspire to be. This mindset will carry you forward, just as it did for the Stoics, who embraced their flaws, learned from them, and continued on their path toward excellence. Learning graces rather than self-complicity. 7. Elevate those around you. When you act as if you're the best, it's not just about improving your own life. It's about raising the bar for everyone around you. The Stoics believed in the concept of sympathia, the idea that we are all connected and that our actions impact the whole. When you strive for excellence, you inspire others to do the same. Your confidence, discipline, and commitment to growth naturally elevate the people you interact with, whether it's in your family, your friendships, or your workplace. Think about how it feels to be around someone who carries themselves with purpose and clarity. Their energy is contagious. They don't need to say it, but their actions, their presence, show others what's possible. This is how you can influence others, by leading by example. When you act as if you're the best, you become a source of inspiration for those who might be struggling with self-doubt or uncertainty. You show them that it's possible to rise above challenges by adopting the right mindset and staying focused on what truly matters. The Stoics were not concerned with competition in the way we often think of it today. They believed in helping others achieve virtue and wisdom. When you raise your standards and strive for excellence, you're not just lifting yourself. You're creating an environment where those around you feel encouraged to rise with you. Acting as if you're the best means embodying qualities that others respect and want to emulate. By doing this, you not only improve your own life, but also contribute to the growth and success of the people in your circle. It's a ripple effect of positive change, just as the Stoics would have intended. 8. How to handle failure. Failure is something we all face, and the Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that failure is not something to be feared, but rather an inevitable part of life's journey. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the path toward it. When you act as if you're the best, it doesn't mean you believe you'll never fail. It means you approach failure with resilience, knowing that every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. The Stoics believed in focusing on what you can control. You can't always control the outcome, but you can control how you respond to failure. Instead of seeing failure as a personal defeat, see it as feedback, a lesson on what didn't work and how you can improve. Epictetus reminded his students that we should accept failure as part of life and use it to build our character. Failure isn't a reason to give up, but a reason to keep going, armed with more knowledge and experience. When you face failure with the Stoic mindset, you stop seeing it as something to avoid. Instead, you embrace it as a chance to practice perseverance and adaptability. The best people in any field, whether in business, sports, or philosophy, aren't those who never fail, but those who know how to bounce back stronger each time. As the Stoics taught, our true strength comes from how we rise after we fall. So the next time you fail, remember that it's not the end of the story. It's a crucial step on your journey to greatness. Acting as if you're the best isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. The Stoics believed in the importance of consistent, deliberate action. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, urged himself to approach each day with purpose and intention. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Second sermon. This practice of showing up every day with the commitment to excellence is how you move closer to becoming the best version of yourself. The beauty of this mindset is that you don't need to wait until you feel ready. The Stoics knew that waiting for the perfect moment often leads to inaction. Instead, they taught us to start where we are, with what we have. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. By acting as if you're the best each day, you're practicing the qualities that will eventually define you. Over time, what started as a conscious effort becomes part of your character. Throughout our lives, we encounter myriad situations where our resolve, patience, and endurance are tested. Whether it's a career path that no longer aligns with our core values, a relationship that has run its course, or any environment that stifles our growth rather than fostering it, the question of whether to stay the course or cut our losses is a universal struggle. Think about the last time you felt stuck or conflicted about leaving a challenging situation. Was there a voice inside you suggesting it might be time to move on? Yet another voice urging you to stay and fight harder? This inner conflict is not just about making a choice. It's about understanding the deeper values and principles that guide our decisions. Now let's introduce a fascinating perspective that can shed light on this topic: Stoicism. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who preached the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, provide a powerful framework for tackling our dilemma. They taught the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control and what lies beyond it. In facing a situation where we feel powerless or diminished, Stoicism asks us to question, can we influence the outcome? If not, might our energies be better directed elsewhere? Stoicism also teaches us about the concept of preferred indifference, external things that are nice to have but not essential to our core happiness and virtue. When we agonize over whether to walk away, we often fear losing these preferred indifferences. But by anchoring ourselves in Stoic wisdom, we can view our situation with greater clarity and equanimity, focusing on our inner character and what truly matters. In today's conversation, we will delve deep into these themes, exploring how Stoic principles can help us navigate the challenging decision of when to walk away. We'll discuss how to recognize when perseverance turns into self-sabotage, how to differentiate between meaningful struggle and needless suffering, and how to embrace the liberating act of letting go when it serves our greater good. Join me on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment, where we learn to listen to our inner wisdom, align with our deepest values, and make the courageous choices that shape our destiny. If this journey of introspection and courage speaks to you, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and stay with us throughout the entire video. Every moment is crafted to inspire and empower you, and I promise you won't want to miss a single part of this transformative exploration. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's start this meaningful conversation together. When we talk about walking away, what images or scenarios come to your mind? Is it quitting a job that drains your spirit day after day? Is it ending a relationship that's lost its warmth and become a source of constant pain? Or perhaps it's stepping back from a long-cherished dream that, despite your best efforts, remains frustratingly out of reach. The decision to walk away can manifest in countless aspects of our lives, each with its unique challenges and implications. Yet at the heart of these decisions is a common thread: the recognition that something fundamental is misaligned with our well-being and potential for growth. But why is making this decision so fraught with difficulty and hesitation? After all, if something consistently causes us distress or hinders our progress, wouldn't the logical choice be to leave it behind? Here's where the wisdom of Stoicism offers illuminating insights. The Stoics remind us that human beings are creatures of habit and attachment. We cling to the familiar, even when it's harmful, because it provides a sense of security and predictability. We're wired to resist change, fearing the uncertainty and loss that it might bring. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us about the value of endurance and resilience. These virtues are indeed commendable and often necessary for achieving great things. However, they can also tether us to situations that no longer serve us if we fail to apply them wisely. The Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control urges us to discern between what we can change and what we must accept. Sometimes, the bravest and most prudent action is to recognize when our efforts cannot alter the nature of an unhealthy job, a toxic relationship, or an unattainable goal. It's in these moments that walking away isn't an admission of defeat, but a testament to our understanding and courage. Yet defining the issue of when to walk away is not about prescribing a one-size-fits-all answer. It's about encouraging a deep personal inquiry into our lives. It's about asking ourselves, are we holding on to something because it truly enriches us? Or are we driven by fear, inertia, or misplaced loyalty? Are we sacrificing our peace and potential for the sake of an illusory security or a misguided sense of duty? Stoicism teaches us to focus on living in harmony with nature, which includes our own nature, understanding our emotions and responding to life's challenges with virtue and reason. But how does this relate to knowing when to walk away? At its core, Stoicism helps us differentiate between what we can control and what we cannot. It encourages us to invest our energy wisely, focusing on our actions, attitudes, and responses rather than external outcomes beyond our control. Consider a situation where you're faced with persistent unhappiness or frustration. Perhaps it's a job that conflicts with your values or a relationship that's become toxic. Stoicism would urge you to ask, can I change this situation? Do I have power over these external circumstances? If the answer is no, the philosophy would then guide you toward accepting what you cannot change and contemplating whether staying in the situation aligns with living a virtuous and contented life. Now let's weave in another Stoic concept, the idea of amor fati, or love of fate. This principle encourages us to embrace whatever life throws at us, finding the opportunity for growth and learning in every situation. However, loving our fate doesn't mean resigning ourselves to endure unnecessary suffering or clinging to situations that diminish our well-being. Instead, it's about recognizing when our struggles serve a purpose and when they merely hold us back from realizing our potential. Through a Stoic lens, walking away is not about escaping challenges or shirking responsibility. It's about making a reasoned choice to direct our lives toward what is truly good for us, which sometimes means letting go of what we cannot change to focus on what we can. It's a testament to our ability to act with wisdom and courage, honoring our nature by seeking environments and relationships that allow us to flourish. As we further explore these theoretical perspectives, we'll delve into specific Stoic teachings and how they can inform our decisions at life's crossroads. We'll discuss how embracing Stoic virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation can empower us to make choices that resonate with our deepest values and aspirations. Have you ever heard the saying, experience is the best teacher? Well, it's true. Learning from real-life situations can profoundly impact our understanding and decision-making. When we muster the courage to walk away from situations that no longer serve us, we're not just turning our backs on something, we're stepping forward into new possibilities. But what exactly are these benefits? How does walking away open up avenues for personal growth and happiness? And how does Stoicism, with its deep roots in wisdom and virtue, help us appreciate these benefits even more? Firstly, walking away can lead to a profound sense of liberation. Imagine the weight lifting off your shoulders when you finally release a burden you've been carrying, perhaps a toxic relationship, a stifling job, or an unattainable goal. This newfound freedom allows you to breathe, to realign with your core values, and to invest your energy in pursuits that truly resonate with your authentic self. Stoicism teaches us the value of freedom, not as an external condition, but as an internal state of being. By choosing to walk away, we exercise our freedom to choose our path, embodying the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature, our own true nature. Moreover, walking away can catalyze personal growth and self-discovery. It's often in the aftermath of a difficult departure that we learn the most about ourselves, our resilience, our values, our desires. These insights are invaluable, shaping our character and guiding our future choices. Stoicism encourages us to view every experience as an opportunity for learning and growth. Thus, when we walk away from a negative situation, we're not just escaping negativity. We're embracing the chance to develop virtues like wisdom, courage, and temperance, which are central to a well-lived life. Another significant benefit is the opportunity to cultivate healthier relationships and environments. By leaving a toxic situation, we create space for more positive and nourishing connections to enter our lives. Whether it's finding colleagues who support and inspire us, friends who uplift and understand us, or partners who respect and cherish us, walking away sets the stage for more fulfilling interaction. In Stoicism, the concept of oikeiosis refers to the natural inclination to connect with and care for others, suggesting that fostering healthy relationships is essential to our well-being and moral development. Lastly, walking away can reaffirm our agency and self-respect. Making the decision to leave, especially in difficult circumstances, is a powerful assertion of our worth and autonomy. It's a declaration that we value ourselves enough to walk away from anything that diminishes us. Stoicism teaches us to find our self-worth not in external accolades or possessions, but in our capacity to live virtuously. By choosing to walk away from situations that conflict with our values, we honor our intrinsic dignity and cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-assurance. As we explore these benefits, I encourage you to consider them in the context of your own life. Reflect on the times you've had the courage to walk away and how those choices have shaped your path. And if you're currently facing a crossroads, contemplate how these insights might inform your decision. Remember, walking away isn't just about what you leave behind. It's about the journey ahead and the growth, freedom, and fulfillment that await when you choose the path that's right for you. Deciding to walk away is rarely straightforward. It's a path fraught with challenges and complexities, each demanding our courage, reflection, and discernment. But what exactly makes this decision so daunting? And how can Stoic philosophy help us navigate these turbulent waters with greater clarity and resilience? One of the foremost challenges is the emotional turmoil associated with walking away. Whether it's guilt, fear, regret, or sadness, a whirlwind of emotions can cloud our judgment and hinder our ability to make a decision aligned with our best interests. Stoicism, however, offers a valuable perspective. It teaches us to observe our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. By acknowledging our feelings and understanding their transient nature, we can make reasoned choices rather than reactive ones. The Stoics emphasize the importance of apatheia, a state of inner tranquility achieved by managing our passions and maintaining a rational perspective. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless, but rather developing the emotional resilience to face difficult decisions with composure and clarity. Another significant challenge is the fear of the unknown. Walking away often means stepping out of our comfort zone and into uncertain territory. What lies ahead? Will we regret our decision? Such questions can be paralyzing, yet Stoicism encourages us to embrace uncertainty as an inherent part of life. It teaches us to focus on the present, doing our best with what's within our control and accepting what's beyond it. By cultivating a sense of detachment from outcomes, what the Stoics call ataraxia, or undisturbedness, we can overcome the fear of the unknown and move forward with confidence in our ability to adapt and thrive, regardless of circumstances. Moreover, societal expectations and pressures can make it difficult to walk away. We may worry about judgment from others, disappointing those we care about, or defying cultural norms. Here, Stoicism reminds us of the importance of living according to our own values and judgments, rather than being swayed by external opinions. The Stoic principle of autonomy asserts our right to govern ourselves, making decisions based on our reasoned understanding of what's good and right. By honoring our inner compass and standing firm in our convictions, we can navigate societal pressures with integrity and authenticity. Lastly, there's the challenge of letting go of what we've invested, our time, energy, emotions, or resources. This is where the Stoic concept of impermanence can guide us. Recognizing that everything is subject to change and loss helps us loosen our grip on the status quo and make peace with the necessity of moving on. It encourages us to find fulfillment not in external circumstances, but in our capacity to live virtuously, irrespective of our situation. As we consider these challenges and considerations, let's reflect on how Stoicism not only illuminates the obstacles we face, but also empowers us to confront them with wisdom, courage, and equanimity. Remember, the decision to walk away is a deeply personal and often difficult one, but by anchoring ourselves in Stoic principles, we can approach it with greater clarity, strength, and a sense of peace, knowing that it's a step toward honoring our true selves and cultivating a life of genuine flourishing. As we ponder the decision to walk away, it's essential to navigate this crossroad with both heart and mind. Making such a choice can be daunting, yet with the right guidance and a Stoic mindset, we can approach this decision with clarity and confidence. How do we then discern the right course of action, and how can Stoic wisdom illuminate this path? Let's delve into some guidance and advice that can help steer us in the right direction. Firstly, introspection is key. Take a moment to truly connect with yourself, to listen to your inner voice and identify what you truly value and desire in life. Ask yourself, does this situation align with my core values? Is it conducive to my growth and well-being? Reflecting on these questions allows us to make decisions that resonate with our authentic selves. Stoicism teaches us the virtue of self-awareness, encouraging us to know ourselves deeply and live in accordance with our nature. By aligning our choices with our values, we live with integrity and purpose, ensuring our actions are coherent with our true essence. Next, consider the concept of impermanence and the ever-changing nature of life, as highlighted by Stoicism. Acknowledge that both staying and walking away will lead to new experiences and challenges. Embrace the idea that change is an integral part of growth and development. When contemplating walking away, remind yourself that new beginnings are often hidden in endings. By accepting the flow of life, you can move forward with a sense of peace, understanding that change brings opportunities for learning and transformation. Moreover, engage in a reasoned analysis of your situation. Stoicism doesn't advocate for rash or emotion-driven decisions. Instead, it encourages us to use our faculty of reason to evaluate our circumstances logically. Consider the pros and cons, the potential outcomes, and the impacts of your decision. Seek advice from trusted individuals who can offer different perspectives, but remember, the final choice is yours. As Stoics, we are reminded of the importance of using our judgment and reason to navigate life's challenges, ensuring our decisions are well considered and rational. Another piece of Stoic advice is to prepare mentally for the consequences of your decision. Visualize the scenarios that might unfold from both staying and walking away. Practice negative visualization, a Stoic exercise where you contemplate the worst-case scenarios to reduce anxiety about the future and build resilience. By mentally preparing for various outcomes, you can fortify yourself against fear and uncertainty, embracing whatever the future holds with strength and equanimity. Lastly, commit to your decision with courage and conviction. Once you've deliberated and chosen a course of action, move forward with determination. Stoicism teaches us the value of courage, not just in facing adversity, but also in making tough decisions that align with our well-being and principles. Remember, it's normal to feel apprehensive about stepping into the unknown, but embracing this uncertainty with courage can lead to profound personal growth and fulfillment. As we draw this discussion to a close, it's important to pause and reflect on the journey we've embarked upon together. The decision to walk away, laden with complexity and emotion, is a profound testament to our human experience. It's a decision that calls for wisdom, courage, and deep self-awareness. And while the path may be fraught with uncertainty and challenges, it's also strewn with opportunities for growth, liberation, and self-discovery. In the light of Stoicism, we are reminded that our power lies in our ability to choose our responses to the external world, to align our actions with our core values, and to pursue a life marked by virtue and meaning. Stoicism doesn't just offer philosophical musings. It provides practical tools and a robust framework to live a fulfilled and resilient life. It teaches us that while we cannot control external events, we have the utmost control over our judgments, intentions. As you stand at the crossroads, considering whether to stay or to walk away, remember the Stoic virtues: wisdom, to discern the best path; courage, to follow through on your decision; justice, to consider the impact on yourself and others; temperance, to maintain balance and self-control amidst change. Embrace the Stoic practice of reflection, envisioning the kind of life you wish to lead and the person you aspire to be. Let these insights illuminate your path, whether it leads you to stay and persevere or to step into the unknown with faith in your heart and clarity in your mind. Remember, walking away is not an end, but a beginning, a chance to realign with your authentic self, to cultivate new relationships and experiences, and to grow in ways you never thought possible. As Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." If you have been wronged, or if a situation no longer serves your highest good, choose to respond not with bitterness or regret, but with strength, dignity, and a forward-looking gaze. In conclusion, whether you choose to walk away or to stay, do so with deliberation and purpose. Let your decision reflect your deepest values and aspirations, and as you move forward, carry with you the lessons of Stoicism. That peace comes from within, that we are the architects of our reality, and that every choice we make is an opportunity to cultivate virtue, resilience, and joy. We've all been there. Life feels like it's spinning out of control. A job loss, a tough breakup, or just the daily rush can leave us feeling stressed and helpless. But what if I told you there's a way not just to get through these tough times, but to actually thrive in the chaos? Today, we're going to explore the wisdom of Seneca, an ancient philosopher who knew how to stay calm and focused, no matter what life threw his way. His Stoic teachings aren't just old ideas, they're practical tips that have helped countless people stay strong, and they can help you too. By the end of this video, you'll have some powerful Stoic strategies to build mental toughness and take control of your emotions, no matter what happens. And stick with me, and let's learn how these timeless lessons can make your life calmer and more centered. Number 1. Focus on one activity at a time. Seneca's wisdom, to be everywhere is to be nowhere, captures a crucial principle that is often overlooked in our modern rush to do more and be more. The idea of focusing on one activity at a time is central to Stoic philosophy and can transform how we approach our daily tasks. In a world that celebrates the myth of multitasking, we need to pause and reconsider the effectiveness of this approach. When we try to multitask, we're spreading our attention thin, which can lead to increased mistakes and decreased quality of work. Marcus Aurelius, another revered Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment when he advised, "Concentrate every minute, like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions." This focus is not just about improving productivity, it's about cultivating a quality of mind that values depth over breadth. Focusing on one activity at a time allows us to immerse ourselves fully in the task at hand. Whether it's a professional assignment, a personal project, or a meaningful conversation. This kind of deep work fosters a greater sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Plato might argue that this singular focus helps us access a higher form of beauty and truth in our work, as it allows us to give our best effort and to create something that resonates with the ideals of goodness and excellence. Moreover, the psychological benefits of focusing on one task at a time are significant. It reduces the cognitive load on our brains, minimizing stress and enhancing our decision-making capabilities. Aristotle, who valued the development of virtues through habitual right action, would likely support this practice as a way to develop the virtue of temperance or self-control, helping us regulate our desire for distraction and immediate gratification. In practicing this focused approach, we not only follow in the footsteps of Stoic philosophers, but also align with the teachings of modern psychology, which suggests that our brains are not wired to handle multiple complex tasks simultaneously. The quality of our work and our life improves when we give our full attention to one thing at a time. Socrates' method of deep inquiry and dialogue, focusing intensely on one subject to the exclusion of all else, exemplifies how powerful this method can be. Embracing this Stoic principle doesn't just make us more productive, it makes us more thoughtful, peaceful, and balanced individuals. It is a rejection of the chaos of modern multitasking and an embrace of a more deliberate and purposeful mode of being. As we practice this, we might find that not only do our results improve, but so does our overall well-being. Number 2. Practice philosophy to control your impulses. Seneca's insight, "All the greatest torments are the result of an undisciplined mind," reveals a profound truth about human nature. Our unchecked impulses can be the source of immense emotional turmoil and suffering. Stoicism, which emphasizes the importance of self-control and rational thinking, provides us with a framework to address this challenge. Rather than suppressing our emotions, which is neither healthy nor sustainable, Stoicism teaches us to understand and manage them. The process of managing our impulses begins with self-awareness. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This statement highlights the necessity of self-mastery in achieving true freedom and happiness. By becoming more aware of our impulses and the triggers that set them off, we are better equipped to handle them rationally. This doesn't mean denying our feelings, but understanding them deeply enough that we can respond in ways that align with our long-term goals and values. In the realm of philosophy, Aristotle also spoke about the importance of moderating our impulses through the development of virtues. He believed that virtue lies in finding the balance between excess and deficiency, a concept known as the golden mean. For instance, courage is the mean between recklessness and cowardice, deficiency being the mean between recklessness and cowardice. Applying this to impulse control, we seek to find a balance between spontaneous reactions and complete inaction, aiming for thoughtful, deliberate responses that reflect our best selves. Moreover, practicing philosophy as a guide to controlling our impulses involves cultivating rational thought as a habit. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of aligning thoughts with rational and virtuous principles. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This perspective encourages us to focus on our internal responses rather than external provocations, thereby gaining greater control over our impulses. By critically examining our impulses with the aid of philosophical wisdom, we can begin to make choices that are not dictated by fleeting emotions, but are the result of careful thought and reflection. This practice not only strengthens our mental fortitude, but also helps us live more harmoniously with our values. It leads to a life where decisions are made, not in the heat of the moment, but with a clear, composed mind. The Stoic approach to impulse control is about cultivating an inner dialogue that constantly questions and assesses our instinctive reactions. It is about making philosophy not just a subject we study, but a way we live our lives, allowing us to rise above immediate gratifications and achieve a deeper sense of satisfaction and purpose. This disciplined approach to managing impulses is not just about avoiding emotional pain. It's about forging a path to a more thoughtful, fulfilling life. Number 3, stay prepared. Seneca, who emphasized the importance of being prepared, famously said, "Rehearse them in your mind. Exile, torture, war, shipwreck, all the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes." This advice might sound a bit dramatic at first. After all, not all of us are navigating the high seas or entering battle. But what Seneca is getting at here is the concept of mental preparation for life's inevitable challenges. A cornerstone of Stoic resilience, Stoicism teaches us to anticipate and mentally rehearse for the worst, not to fill us with dread, but to diminish the shock and pain when difficulties do occur. This practice is known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. It's about visualizing the most challenging scenarios, not to worry obsessively, but to be emotionally and mentally equipped when life throws its curveballs. Think about it this way. Athletes practice under tough conditions to prepare for the strain of actual competition. Similarly, by mentally rehearsing challenging situations, we train our minds to handle stress and adversity with less panic and more poise. This Stoic practice helps us appreciate our current state. When we realize how much worse things could be, our everyday problems seem less overwhelming. Applying this Stoicism doesn't mean living in constant anxiety about what could go wrong. Rather, it's about having a realistic acknowledgement of potential negative outcomes. For example, if you're worried about job security, instead of spiraling into fear, you could start preparing by updating your resume, enhancing your skills, or even exploring alternate career paths. This way, if the worst were to happen, you're not caught off guard and are better positioned to handle the situation. Moreover, this principle extends beyond personal crises. It's about maintaining a level of readiness for any significant changes in our lives, from financial instability to personal loss. By staying prepared, we not only shield ourselves from the initial shock, but also quicken our recovery and adjustment periods. We become less reactive and more responsive, a subtle but powerful shift in handling life's uncertainties. Seneca's counsel helps us forge a mindset where we are not overwhelmed by adversity, but are fortified against it. This mental readiness is not about expecting the worst, but about being prepared to deal with any situation, thereby enhancing our resilience and overall mental toughness. Through this Stoic lens, we see not just the potential for loss or hardship, but also the opportunity for growth and renewal in every challenge. Number 4. Voluntarily embrace hardships. Another profound insight from Seneca. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. This idea is at the heart of Stoicism and speaks to a practice that can seem counterintuitive at first, voluntarily embracing hardships. It's about deliberately choosing to experience discomfort, not as a form of punishment, but as a way to fortify our mental resilience and expand our capacity to handle life's inevitable challenges. Think about what it means to voluntarily embrace hardships. It's like an athlete who trains under harsh conditions to prepare for a competition. The athlete understands that by pushing the limits in a controlled environment, they're better prepared for the stresses of the actual event. Similarly, by choosing to face difficulties head-on, whether that's taking on a challenging project at work, speaking up in public, or even opting to live more simply, we enhance our mental toughness and adaptability. Seneca's approach teaches us that when we step out of our comfort zones on purpose, we're not just testing our limits, we're expanding them. For example, if you dread public speaking, regularly putting yourself in situations where you must speak in front of others can transform your fear into a skill. Over time, what once felt insurmountable becomes manageable and eventually comfortable. Meditation is a way to get to the root of things, rather than to hide behaviors we find frightening. This Stoic practice is not about seeking out suffering for its own sake, but about recognizing that growth often comes from discomfort. Embracing voluntary hardships also means resetting our comfort thresholds. In a world that often prioritizes comfort and ease, choosing the harder path can seem radical. But Stoicism invites us to rethink what true comfort is. Is it merely the absence of discomfort, or is it the presence of inner strength and peace that comes from knowing we can handle whatever comes our way? By integrating this Stoic principle into our lives, we also learn to appreciate our current circumstances more. When we know we can endure less, we can enjoy the simple pleasures of life with greater contentment. It's about building a life not on the avoidance of hardship, but on the foundation of resilience. This doesn't mean we seek out suffering, but when hardship does come, we view it as an opportunity to practice our Stoic skills. In embracing voluntary hardships, we also foster a deep sense of self-efficacy. We prove to ourselves that we are capable of overcoming obstacles, which in turn builds self-confidence. Each challenge we face and overcome is a reminder that we are stronger than we might have believed. So let's take a page from Seneca's book and challenge ourselves to step into the arena of voluntary hardship. It's there that we'll find not just challenges, but the keys to a more resilient and fulfilling life. Number 5. Avoid self-victimization. Seneca wisely pointed out, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This statement is a stark reminder that our interpretation of events, not the events themselves, often causes our greatest suffering. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that we are victims of our circumstances, which can lead to a mindset that everything happens to us, rather than for us or with us. Stoicism teaches us the importance of perception, How we choose to see and interpret life's challenges significantly impacts our experience of them. If we view ourselves as passive victims, we surrender our agency and power. However, if we view challenges as opportunities to grow and learn, we maintain control over our responses and are more likely to approach life proactively. Consider a common scenario. Perhaps you didn't get a promotion at work, and your initial reaction is to feel sidelined or discriminated against. While these feelings are valid, Stoicism invites us to examine our reactions critically. Are we perhaps viewing the situation only through a lens of loss and unfairness? What if, instead, we saw this as an opportunity to seek feedback, improve our skills, or even reassess our career path to find a better fit for our aspirations? Avoiding self-victimization doesn't mean ignoring the injustices or difficulties we face. Rather, it means shifting our focus from what happens to us to how we respond to what happens. This shift is powerful. It moves us from a place of passive reaction to active participation in our lives. We stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this situation?" Example 4. Stoicism equips us with the tools to detach from our initial emotional responses and see the bigger picture. It's about understanding that while we can't always control external events, we can control our perceptions and reactions. This mental shift is freeing and empowering. It allows us to live with a sense of purpose and resilience, making us better equipped to handle future challenges. Moreover, practicing this Stoic principle enriches our interactions with others. By refusing to cast ourselves as the perpetual victims, we foster healthier relationships characterized by mutual respect and understanding rather than blame and resentment. We become more compassionate as we recognize that just as we are responsible for our happiness, so are others for theirs. In embracing the Stoic way, we liberate ourselves from the chains of self-victimization. We take charge of our narrative, acknowledging that we are the architects of our reality. This empowerment is the essence of Stoicism and the key to a fulfilling and proactive life. So, let's choose to rise above victimhood, not by denying our pain, but by reframing our stories with strength, wisdom, and resilience. Number 6. Spend time in solitude. Seneca's advice to retire into yourself as much as possible emphasizes the value of solitude in Stoic philosophy. This guidance is not an encouragement towards isolation, but rather an invitation to engage in deep self-reflection and introspection. In our fast-paced, interconnected world, the noise of everyday life can drown out our inner voice and hinder our ability to reflect on our personal growth and values. Stoicism teaches us that true solitude is a state of rich self-awareness and not merely a physical state of being alone. The benefits of spending time in solitude are profound and have been echoed by philosophers throughout history. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, often wrote about the importance of introspection in his personal writings. He believed that understanding oneself is essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. He stated, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This highlights the idea that solitude provides a sanctuary where one can escape the demands of the external world and focus on internal development. Furthermore, the practice of solitude allows us to explore our thoughts and emotions without distraction. It gives us the space to process our experiences and to align our actions with our principles. By regularly engaging in this practice, we cultivate a deeper understanding of who we are and what we truly want from life. This alignment is crucial for living authentically and achieving personal fulfillment. Aristotle also touched on the importance of self-reflection for achieving eudaimonia, or flourishing. He believed that self-knowledge was essential for developing virtues and living in accordance with reason. In solitude, we can assess our lives critically and make adjustments that reflect our true values and aspirations. The Stoic practice of solitude also encourages us to develop resilience. Epictetus emphasized the need for personal reflection to fortify the mind against adversity. He advised individuals to use solitude as a tool to strengthen their character and mental endurance, preparing them for the inevitable challenges of life. He posited, "It is in your power to withdraw yourself whenever you desire. Perfect tranquility within consists in the good ordering of the mind, the realm of your own. Moreover, spending time alone helps us appreciate our relationships and social interactions more fully. When we return from periods of solitude, we often find that we have more to offer others, whether it's greater empathy, patience, or clarity. This not only enriches our personal relationships, but also enhances our contributions to our communities. The Stoic practice of seeking solitude is not about escaping life, but about deepening our engagement with it. By retiring into ourselves, we gain the clarity needed to act more thoughtfully in the world." Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus all provide us with a roadmap for using solitude. Not as a retreat from life, but as a tool to live more fully and meaningfully. Ever felt like life is pulling you in a million different directions, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to find your footing? Well, you're not alone. Right now, across the globe, millions are feeling overwhelmed, not by a lack of dreams, but by the chaos of everyday demands that cloud their true potential. Today we're going to strip back the layers of noise and rediscover clarity through the lens of Stoicism, a philosophy that has empowered thinkers and leaders for centuries to face life's turbulence with calm and resilience. Now, if you find yourself nodding along, thinking, "Yes, that's exactly what I need," then I'm glad you're here. And if you appreciate what we're doing, showing a little love by hitting that subscribe button won't cost a thing, but will mean the world to us. Stick with me through this journey today, because every single moment of this video is packed with insights that could just be the answer you've been looking for. Together we'll explore timeless Stoic strategies to reset, restart, and refocus. Because sometimes, all you need to change your life is to view it from a new perspective. Let's dive in. Let's talk about a concept that might seem simple on the surface, but is incredibly transformative once you dive deep. Reset. Specifically, I want to focus on the idea of clearing the clutter. It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Just saying it out loud feels like a breath of fresh air. Now, when you think of clutter, you might picture a desk buried under piles of papers, or a closet stuffed to the brim with clothes you haven't worn in years. But I'm not just talking about physical clutter. I'm talking about the mental and emotional clutter that piles up in our lives, often without us even noticing. I'm talking about the mental and emotional clutter that piles up in our lives, often without us even noticing. Here's a personal story for you. A while back, I found myself feeling unusually stressed and anxious. I was meeting deadlines, hitting my targets, doing all the right things, but something felt off. My mind felt cluttered, like an attic filled with old boxes. Boxes of worries, doubts, and old grudges I couldn't seem to throw out. I needed a reset, not just superficially but deeply. The Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, often spoke about the importance of simplifying life to see clearly. They believed in discarding not just unnecessary physical possessions, but also unnecessary thoughts and emotions that complicate our lives. This Stoic principle became my guiding light. I began by asking myself tough questions, the kind that make you pause and really think. What am I holding on to that no longer serves me? What fears are just old habits in disguise? This process of questioning is like sorting through that attic. Each item, each thought, each emotion needs to be picked up, examined, and then, most importantly, decided upon. Do I keep it? Do I let it go? This is where the real clearing starts. It's about recognizing that some worries are just noise, distractions from what truly matters. They don't need to be in my space, in my head, or in my heart. Resetting is about making space for new growth, new experiences. It's like preparing a garden at the start of spring. You clear out the dead leaves and weeds, not because the work is fun, but because you know it's necessary. For new life to thrive, the Stoics remind us that every new day brings with it a chance to start afresh, to realign with our values and our goals. They teach us that freedom comes not from external achievements, but from internal balance and peace. As I embarked on this journey of clearing out, I started small. I tackled one box at a time. One week I focused on letting go of a grudge. Another week it was about dialing back the self-doubt, turning down the volume on that critical inner voice that said, "You can't do this." Each act of letting go felt like a weight lifting off my shoulders. Now, let me ask you, what's cluttering your mind? What's taking up space in your life that no longer serves a positive purpose? Maybe it's resentment over a past failure, or anxiety about an uncertain future. Maybe it's the unrealistic standards you set for yourself, or the toxic relationships that drain your energy. Imagine if you started clearing that clutter. Imagine the freedom, the lightness, the room to breathe and grow. It's not just about removing the bad, but about making space for the good, for something better. This isn't about denying your past experiences, but about choosing not to let them define or limit you anymore. And here's the thing about resetting. It's not a one-time event. It's a continuous process, a habit you develop. Each day is a new opportunity to clear away what doesn't belong and reinforce what does. It's about building resilience, about learning to bounce back faster and stronger because you're not weighed down by unnecessary baggage. So as you listen to this, think about what you can reset in your life today. It doesn't have to be big. Start small. Maybe it's deciding to forgive someone, to forgive yourself, or to set aside a worry that's been nagging at you. Remember, each piece of clutter you clear makes room for something invaluable. Peace of mind, clarity, and the strength to face whatever comes next. As the Stoics would say, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Every challenge, every bit of clutter we clear, shapes us, molds us into the people we are meant to be. So let's reset, not just once, but as a way of life. Let's make it count. Because in the clarity of a decluttered mind and heart lies the power to craft a truly fulfilling life. Now, let's tackle the concept of restart. This is where the real grit of life comes into play. It's about picking yourself up after you've been knocked down, dusting yourself off, and stepping back into the ring. It's a test of courage, a true measure of your resilience. And let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart, but it is for everyone. We all face moments when the easiest thing to do would be to give up. But here's where Stoic wisdom shines through, teaching us that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. There was a time in my life when I hit rock bottom. I had faced a major setback in my career, and everything I had worked so hard for seemed to crumble right before my eyes. It felt like standing amidst the ruins of a once glorious castle that I had built, brick by brick. The temptation to just sit in the rubble was overwhelming. But here's the kicker. The Stoics say, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And that's what I did. I made my obstacle my way forward. Restarting isn't about brushing off your failures as if they're nothing. No, it's about acknowledging them, learning from them. It's about looking your failures in the eye and saying, "You can't keep me down." Because the truth is, every failure is ripe with potential to teach us something invaluable, something that success never could. I asked myself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? The answers to those questions were the first steps I took toward my restart. I started by setting small, manageable goals. It wasn't about reclaiming all my lost ground in a day. Instead, it was about moving forward one small step at a time. Each step, no matter how small, was a victory. It was a defiance of failure, a testament to my resilience. And with each step, my journey forward gathered momentum. But let's be real, restarting can be daunting. You're not always going to have clear direction. That's where the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, comes in. It's about visualizing the worst-case scenarios and preparing for them. Not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. When you've already faced your fears in your mind, taking action in the real world becomes less daunting. It's like rehearsing for a play. When the curtains lift, you're ready to perform. And here's a thought for you. How often do you hold back because the fear of failure paralyzes you? Imagine what you could achieve if you viewed each failure as a step up, not a stumble. Picture yourself as a phoenix, rising from the ashes, reborn and renewed. That's the essence of restarting. It's not about never failing. It's about never letting failure have the last word. During my restart, I also learned the importance of community. Sharing my struggles, being vulnerable, it connected me with others who were on their own paths of restarting. We supported each other, cheered for each small win, and pushed through setbacks together. Remember, you're not alone. Reach out, connect, share your journey. The strength you gain from others can be your greatest asset when restarting. Stoicism also teaches us the value of amor fati, a love of fate. It means embracing everything that happens to you, including your failures. It's about saying, this is exactly what I needed, because sometimes the lessons we need most can only be learned the hard way. Embracing your journey with all its ups and downs makes restarting not just a necessity, but a privilege. So, if you're standing at the crossroads, unsure if you can face starting over, let me leave you with this. Every restart is a declaration of hope. It's a commitment to yourself that you are not defined by your past, but by the courage you show in moving forward. And every time you choose to restart, you are taking another step toward becoming the person you are meant to be. Don't wait for the perfect moment to restart. Create it. Make today the day you pick up the pieces and craft a new beginning. Your next chapter is waiting to be written, and it starts with a single decision: to rise, restart, and embrace the journey ahead. Remember, in the words of Marcus Aurelius, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. So, think like a Stoic, restart like a warrior, and transform your life into the masterpiece it's meant to be. Now let's talk about a crucial step in our journey of self-reinvention: refocusing. Refocusing is about keeping your eyes on the prize, about aligning your daily actions with your ultimate goals. It's easy to get sidetracked in this fast-paced world, to lose sight of what we truly want. The noise of everyday life can drown out our deepest desires and true intentions. But here's where the art of refocusing comes into play, guiding us back to our path, to what really matters. There was a time in my life when I felt I was drifting. My goals seemed blurry and my actions didn't align with what I deeply aspired to achieve. I was busy, sure, but not productive in the way I wanted to be. It was like sailing a boat without a compass. I was moving, but not necessarily forward. That's when I stumbled upon a Stoic principle that changed everything: the concept of prosocia, or attentive focus. This ancient idea taught me the importance of mindfulness and intentionality in every action. Refocusing means being deliberate about what you let into your life. It's about pruning the unnecessary, the trivial, the distractions that sap your energy and scatter your focus. It's about asking yourself, is what I'm doing right now serving my ultimate purpose? If not, it might be time to let it go. Let's get practical here. Start by defining your top priorities. What are the 3 things that, if you achieve them, would make the biggest impact on your life? Write them down. Keep them somewhere you can see every day. And each day, do at least one thing that moves you closer to one of those goals. It's about small, consistent actions. As the Stoics believed, it's not the grand gestures but the daily decisions that shape our destinies. Refocusing also involves setting boundaries, sturdy, visible lines that protect your time and energy. It means saying no to unnecessary commitments that do not align with your goals. It means being okay with disappointing others, to not disappoint yourself. Stoicism teaches us that our time and our focus are among the few things we can control. Use them wisely. Here's something to ponder. How often do you find yourself doing something just because it's what you've always done? Maybe it's a job that no longer fulfills you, a habit that no longer serves you, or a relationship that drains more than it gives. Imagine the clarity and freedom you'd feel if you started saying yes only to things that align with your deeper values and goals. That's what refocusing is all about. During my own refocusing phase, I realized how scattered my efforts had been. I was trying to chase too many goals, which meant I wasn't making meaningful progress in any area. I took a step back and reevaluated my path. I started to cut out the clutter, not just in my physical space, but in my commitments, in my social media use, in how I spent my leisure time. Every piece of clutter cleared was like removing a blindfold. My goals came back into sharp focus. Refocusing is not a one-time fix. It's a continuous process. Life changes, goals evolve, and our focus needs to shift accordingly. It's like recalibrating a compass when you find out you've been slightly off course. It's not a failure. It's a necessary part of navigating. And if you're wondering if it's too late to refocus, let me remind you of a Stoic truth. It's never too late to be who you might have been. Every moment is a chance to turn things around, to align yourself with your aspirations. Your past decisions do not have to dictate your future. The power to change your focus lies in your hands, right here, right now. So take a moment today to ask yourself, what am I focusing on? Is it what matters most to me? If not, what can I change? Remember, refocusing is about more than just achieving goals. It's about crafting a life that's truly worth living, a life that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Refocus now, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Let every step you take be purposeful. Let every decision be intentional, and watch as the pieces of the puzzle start to fit together, revealing a picture of a life that's not only successful, but also deeply fulfilling. As we wrap up our journey today, let's talk about maintaining momentum. It's one thing to start anew, to reset your compass, restart your engine, or refocus your lens, but it's another to keep that energy flowing, to keep pushing forward even when the initial spark has dimmed. This, my friends, is where the true challenge lies, and also where the most rewarding part of our journey begins. Remember, every great story you've ever heard, every inspiring journey you've admired, didn't just happen overnight. They were built on consistency, perseverance, and a steadfast commitment to the end goal. And here's where the Stoic principle of endurance, or what they call hippomone, comes into play. It's about enduring the long march, sticking to your path even when it's steep and fraught with obstacles. Think about the last time you started something new. Maybe it was a fitness regimen, a business venture, or a personal project. The beginning was likely exciting, filled with energy and grand visions of success. But as time went on, perhaps the enthusiasm waned. Maybe obstacles appeared that you hadn't anticipated. This is natural. It's a part of any worthwhile endeavor. But the key to success? It isn't just starting strong. It's about continuing strong. So how do we maintain this momentum? First, by setting small, incremental goals. Break down your big, audacious goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Each small victory keeps your spirits high and your focus sharp. It's like climbing a mountain, one step at a time, one breath at a time, and before you know it, you'll look back and marvel at how high you've climbed. Another vital tool for maintaining momentum is reflection. Regularly take stock of your progress. What have you learned? What would you do differently? What can you celebrate? Reflecting isn't just about patting yourself on the back. It's about learning and adjusting your strategy as you go. It's about being honest with yourself and addressing the gaps without judgment. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you paused to appreciate how far you've come? Often, we are our own harshest critics, and in the rush to achieve more, we forget to acknowledge our achievements. Yet, Stoicism teaches us the importance of gratitude, not just for others, but for our own efforts and progress. Gratitude not only brightens our outlook, but also fortifies our will to persevere. And speaking of perseverance, remember to lean on your support network. Share your journey, seek advice, and offer support to others in return. Momentum is easier to maintain when you know you're not alone, when you have people cheering for you, waiting at the finish line and running alongside you. Have you ever noticed how just a few seconds of intense anger can cause more damage than you thought possible? Imagine this. In just the time it takes to snap your fingers, relationships can be strained and days can be ruined. It's startling, isn't it? How powerful and potentially destructive a single moment of anger can be. But what if I told you that this same powerful force, when understood and harnessed, can become a profound tool for personal growth and strength? Today we dive deep into the ancient yet incredibly relevant world of Stoicism. It's not just about enduring hardship, but transforming our responses to them for greater peace and clarity. I invite you all to engage in this conversation. Comment below with your thoughts and experiences regarding anger. How open are you to exploring Stoic ways to master your emotions? If you're someone who seeks to grow, who loves to challenge your own boundaries of understanding, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Spread the word and help others discover the power of Stoicism. And stay tuned, especially if you're skeptical about what Stoicism can offer. This video is packed with insights that might just change your mind. Together, we'll explore not just the theory, but the practical applications of Stoicism in controlling anger, with real-life examples and actionable advice. It promises to be an enlightening experience, so watch till the end to gain a full understanding of how to transform anger from a destructive impulse into a constructive force. Let's get started. Have you ever suddenly found yourself in the middle of a heated argument, heart racing, with words spilling out that you instantly wish you could take back? That moment, that explosion of anger, seems to come from nowhere, right? It's almost like a switch flips inside us. One minute everything is fine, and the next, we're swept up in a wave of emotions so strong that it can feel uncontrollable. This is what I like to call the burst of anger. A sudden release that can disrupt not just your day, but potentially your life. Think about the last time you felt this burst of anger. Maybe it was a disagreement with a friend or a frustration at work. It's something we've all faced. Anger is not just a simple emotion. It's a complex response that can lead to regrettable actions and hurtful words. And let's be honest, it often leaves a trail of damage in its wake, from strained relationships to missed opportunities for understanding and connection. But what if I told you there's a different way to handle this burst? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. Stoics teach us that we may not have control over every situation we encounter, but we can control our response. It's not about suppressing your anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that moment of eruption and choosing a different path. Stoicism offers us tools to pause and reflect instead of react. It teaches us to look at anger through a lens of awareness and understanding. Why am I angry? What triggered this response? By asking these questions, we start to take power back from our impulsive reactions and begin to manage our emotions more constructively. This approach doesn't diminish the validity of our feelings, but empowers us to handle them with clarity and strength. It's about transforming what seems like an uncontrollable outburst into a moment of choice. Every time you feel that surge of anger, remember, this isn't just an emotional response. It's an opportunity to grow, to embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, offers a unique lens through which we can view our emotions, especially those as volatile and impactful as anger. So, what do the Stoics say about anger? Simply put, they believe that anger stems not from the external events we experience, but from our internal judgments and reactions to those events. Now, you might be wondering, how does that help me when I'm actually angry? According to Stoicism, the key lies in recognizing that we have the power to question and adjust our immediate reactions. For instance, when someone cuts you off in traffic, your instant reaction might be anger. Your heart starts pounding, you might yell or gesture at the other driver, and your mood is off for the next few hours. But here's the Stoic twist. Instead of succumbing to anger, you pause. You reflect on why you're angry. Is it truly because of the other driver, or is it because you've allowed their actions to disturb your peace? This reflection is at the heart of the Stoic approach to anger. It's about stepping back and asking, what is within my control? You can't control the traffic, the other driver, or even the fact that you were cut off, but you can control your response. This doesn't mean you don't feel the rush of emotion. It means you acknowledge it and then choose not to let it dictate your actions. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions, anger included, should be indicators, not dictators. They signal to us that something is happening that might require our attention, but they shouldn't sweep us away into reactive behavior. When we look at anger through this Stoic lens, it becomes less about suppressing anger and more about managing it. It's not suppression, because you're not denying or ignoring your feelings. You're acknowledging them, analyzing them, and then making a conscious decision about how to proceed. This perspective is incredibly empowering. Think about it. If you can master this Stoic practice, how many situations would be less stressful? How much more effective could your communication be? How much more peace could you bring into your life? As we continue this discussion, I invite you to consider the Stoic idea that virtue is the sole good. This doesn't just mean moral excellence, but refers to the idea of living in accordance with reason and wisdom, especially in the face of emotions like anger. By striving toward virtue, we can transform potentially destructive anger into constructive responses that align with our deepest values. So, as we unpack these ideas, remember that Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges. It's about thriving through them by harnessing our inner strength and wisdom. Controlling anger doesn't mean we never feel angry. Rather, it's about managing our response when that feeling arises. Here's a roadmap you can use to cultivate a more measured reaction when you're tempted to let anger take the wheel. First and foremost, recognize the onset of anger. This is crucial. Stoicism teaches us to be observant of our inner states. Notice when your body begins to show signs of anger. Maybe your heartbeat accelerates, your breathing gets shallow, or you start to clench your fists. These are your body's signals, alerting you that it's time to intervene. Once you recognize these signs, the next step is to pause. This is where the power of Stoicism really shines. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, emphasized the importance of pausing to separate our initial reactions from our deliberate actions. By pausing, you give yourself a moment to step back from the immediate emotional response. This doesn't have to be long. Sometimes just a few seconds can make a significant difference. During this pause, engage in reflective thinking. Ask yourself, why am I feeling angry? Is it because your expectations weren't met? Is it because you feel disrespected? Understanding the why behind your anger can help you address the root cause rather than just the symptoms. This step is about responding with reason rather than reacting out of emotion. Now let's talk about reappraisal of the situation, which is a classic Stoic strategy. This involves reframing the event that triggered your anger. For example, if someone has acted in a way that angers you, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, consider alternative explanations. Perhaps they're having a bad day, or they're unaware of the impact of their actions. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce the intensity of your anger. Another practical step is to focus on what you can control. Stoicism draws a firm line between what's within our control and what's not. You can't control other people's actions, the past, or the fact that certain things have already happened. But you can control your response, your thoughts, and your actions moving forward. Concentrating on these aspects reduces feelings of helplessness and frustration, which are often fuel for anger. Implementing calming techniques is also vital. Once you've paused and reflected, use techniques like deep breathing, counting to 10, or even stepping away from the situation if possible. These methods aren't just about cooling down. They're about giving your rational mind time to regain control from your emotions. Lastly, practice regular reflection. Stoicism isn't just about reacting well in the moment. It's also about preparing for future challenges. Regularly reflect on your day or your reactions to certain situations. What triggered your anger? How did you handle it? What could you do better next time? This ongoing practice builds your resilience and equips you with more effective strategies for managing anger. By integrating these steps into your daily life, you align more closely with Stoic principles, turning each burst of anger into an opportunity for personal growth and wisdom. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate anger entirely, but to master it in such a way that it no longer controls you. Each step you take is a step toward not just greater peace, but also deeper understanding and more effective living. Let's take a deeper look at how we can put Stoicism into action, particularly when it comes to transforming our experiences of anger into opportunities for growth and reflection. Stoicism isn't just about handling anger passively. It's about actively converting it into something constructive. One of the most empowering Stoic principles is the concept of using every obstacle as a means to practice virtue. Anger, like any other obstacle, challenges us to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, what is this anger teaching me? It could be showing you where your expectations might be unrealistic, or where you might need to develop greater empathy. For example, consider a situation at work where you feel repeatedly frustrated by a colleague's actions. Instead of letting this build into resentment or outbursts of anger, use this as a Stoic exercise. Each instance can be a moment to practice patience, to communicate your feelings constructively, or to reinforce your boundaries effectively. Here, anger becomes a signal, a cue that something needs your attention, perhaps a part of your own response mechanisms that you can refine and improve. Moreover, turning anger into opportunity means focusing not just on controlling outbursts, but also on cultivating an underlying serenity that comes from Stoic acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means recognizing and adapting to things as they are. When you accept that certain things are beyond your control, like other people's actions or life's unpredictable events, you free yourself from the burden of trying to force things to be different. This acceptance can significantly alleviate feelings of anger. Another practical way to put Stoicism into action is through what Marcus Aurelius called turning the obstacle upside down. Every time you're faced with something that makes you angry, it's an opportunity to turn the situation on its head and extract something beneficial from it. This could mean learning to communicate more clearly, setting more realistic expectations, or even just understanding your own triggers more deeply. Each angry moment can be flipped to reveal a lesson or a stepping stone to better self-mastery. Stoic practice also involves reflecting on the impermanence of our emotions. Anger feels intense and all-consuming when it hits, but like everything else, it passes. Reminding yourself of this can help lessen the grip of anger. You can say to yourself, "This too shall pass," and focus on maintaining your composure in the moment, knowing that the intensity of your anger will diminish with time. Lastly, share these lessons with others. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is not just for personal benefit, but is something to be shared. By discussing how you turned an angry moment into a learning opportunity, you can help others see their challenges in a new light. This not only reinforces your own learning, but also extends the benefit beyond yourself, turning personal growth into communal wisdom. So, as we navigate through our days, let's try to view each anger-inducing incident as a chance to apply Stoic wisdom, to grow in virtue, and to contribute to a more rational, composed world. It's about seizing those moments of anger and transforming them into something that not only enhances our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Empowerment through Stoicism is about more than just managing our anger. It's about finding strength and resilience within ourselves that we might not have realized we possessed. When we talk about empowerment in Stoicism, we're talking about the power to lead our lives with a sense of purpose, peace, and perspective that remains stable no matter the external circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that true empowerment comes from within. It doesn't rely on external validation or circumstances. Instead, it builds on our ability to control our own responses to the world around us. Consider this. How often have you felt at the mercy of your emotions, tossed around by feelings of anger, frustration, or disappointment? Stoicism offers a different path. It invites us to step back and ask ourselves, can I choose a different response? Do I have the power to see this differently? And the answer more often than not is yes. This self-empowerment is realized through the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within our control. You can't control what others say or do. You can't control the past, and you certainly can't control the global events that impact your life. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. When you internalize this, every moment of frustration or anger becomes an opportunity to practice this principle. You start to see challenges as chances to exercise your agency and autonomy. For instance, when you're faced with a difficult situation that stirs anger, Stoicism empowers you to choose a response that aligns with your values. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with deliberation and integrity. This might mean taking a deep breath and deciding to address a conflict with calm words, or it might mean choosing to walk away from a situation that is not beneficial to engage with. Moreover, Stoicism empowers us by changing our relationship with our emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by anger, we learn to recognize it as a natural response that we can observe, understand, and manage. This emotional intelligence does not just alter our interactions, it changes the way we lead our lives. We become more resilient as we're no longer derailed by every emotional upheaval, and more adaptable, capable of thriving in a variety of circumstances. Empowerment also comes from the Stoic practice of self-reflection. By regularly examining our choices, behaviors, and reactions, we gain deeper insights into our character and motivations. This reflective practice not only helps us make better decisions in the future, but also fosters a profound sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance. We learn to trust ourselves, to lean on our internal compass, rather than being swayed by every passing storm. And finally, empowerment through Stoicism is about contributing to the greater good. Stoicism teaches that we are part of a larger community and that our choices impact others. By choosing to respond to situations with reason and calm, we contribute to a more rational and peaceful world. We lead by example, showing others that it is possible to respond to life's challenges with grace and strength. In embracing Stoicism, we find a powerful ally in our quest for a fulfilled and balanced life. So as we continue on this journey, let's remind ourselves of the incredible strength that lies within us, ready to be harnessed through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It's not just about controlling anger. It's about unlocking a level of personal power and resilience that transforms all aspects of our lives. This isn't about suppressing what you feel. It's about understanding and directing your emotions in a way that's productive and healthy. Stoicism provides us with tools to not only confront our feelings, but to transform our entire approach to dealing with emotions, especially challenging ones like anger. Let's unpack this a bit. In Stoicism, one of the core principles is that our emotions are largely the result of our judgments and beliefs. When we feel angry, it's often because we've made a judgment about a situation or person, that they've wronged us, that an injustice has occurred, or that something should not be the way it is. Here lies a powerful opportunity. If we can change our judgments, we can change our emotional responses. To master our emotions, we start by examining these judgments critically. Ask yourself, why do I believe this situation is bad? Is it within my control? Can I look at this differently? This type of questioning is central to Stoic practice and fosters a kind of emotional agility that can be incredibly freeing. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, and you start to feel that familiar rise of frustration. A Stoic approach would encourage you to analyze that frustration. You might think, being angry won't clear the traffic. Can I use this time productively instead? Perhaps this is a good moment to listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Suddenly the situation hasn't changed, but your perception of it has, and so has your emotional state. This is where the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, comes into play. It's a Stoic mindset that invites you to embrace whatever happens as an opportunity. It's about more than just acceptance. It's a deep appreciation for life as it unfolds, even when it unfolds in unexpected ways. When you start to practice amor fati, you're not only managing your anger better, but you're also cultivating a profound peace that comes from the confidence that you can handle anything that comes your way. Moreover, mastering emotions with Stoicism means developing a strong sense of inner fortitude. Every time you choose not to lash out in anger, you strengthen your character. You start to build a reputation with yourself as someone who is dependable, stable, and calm. This internal trust is crucial. It's the foundation of self-esteem and personal integrity. And let's not forget the power of preparation. Stoics are big on preparing mentally for what might go wrong. This isn't pessimism, it's practical wisdom. By thinking ahead about how you might deal with potential frustrations or anger-inducing situations, you equip yourself with a toolkit for emotional management. When those moments arise, you're not caught off guard. You have a plan, and you have practices in place, like deep breathing, reframing your thoughts, or stepping back to gain perspective. Mastering your emotions with Stoicism isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-reflection, practice, and growth. It requires consistency, honesty with oneself, and the courage to face up to our emotions in a fundamentally different way. But the rewards are immense. Not only do you gain control over your anger and other emotions, but you also gain a serene and resilient spirit that can significantly enhance your quality of life. Did you know that the secret to transforming your life's biggest challenges into your greatest opportunities might have been discovered over 2,000 years ago? Imagine facing life's storms with a calm so powerful that nothing could shake your inner peace. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. This ancient superpower is an age-old philosophy that's as practical today as it was in the bustling markets and marble halls of ancient Rome and Greece. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control every aspect of our lives, we have absolute power over how we choose to react. And in today's world, where uncertainty seems to be the only certainty, these teachings could be the anchor we've all been searching for. So, whether you're dealing with stress, facing adversity, or simply looking to find more joy in the everyday, stick around. Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, uncovering its timeless wisdom, and discovering how it can transform not just the way we think, but the way we live. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. Have you ever found yourself stuck in traffic, fuming over the delay, or scrolling through your phone only to get upset over a negative comment someone left on your post? It happens to the best of us. It's almost like our day-to-day life is filled with these little tests, challenging our mood and peace of mind at every turn. But here's a game-changing perspective from the world of Stoicism that can turn all that frustration on its head. Stoicism, this incredible philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, hands us a powerful tool, focusing on what's in our control. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a second. Traffic, bad weather, negative comments, these are all outside our control. We can't change them, no matter how much we wish we could. What we can change, however, is how we react to them. This idea isn't just ancient wisdom, it's backed by modern psychology too. Carl Jung, a giant in the field of psychology, famously stated, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This aligns perfectly with this practice. It's about recognizing that the only real power we have is over our own reactions, thoughts, and actions. Let's break it down a bit. Say you're in that traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can spend that time stewing in anger, honking your horn, and stressing out, which, let's be honest, won't make the cars ahead move any faster. Or you can take a deep breath, accept the situation, and maybe use the time to listen to a podcast, an audiobook, or simply enjoy some music. The traffic hasn't changed, but your response to it has. And with that shift, your stress levels drop, and your day looks a bit brighter. This principle of focusing on what you can control extends far beyond just dealing with traffic or weather. It applies to our personal goals, our reactions to others, and our approach to obstacles in life. As Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic heavyweight, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So, next time you find yourself getting worked up over something outside your control, remember these wise words from our friends. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. Focus on your reaction, your mindset, and your actions. This simple shift can have a profound impact on your stress levels and overall happiness. It's not always easy, but it's worth practicing every day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And as we learn to focus more on what's in our control, we'll find ourselves not just surviving life's challenges, but thriving in spite of them. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. Stoicism teaches us the art of embracing obstacles as opportunities. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Most of us are programmed to view obstacles as just that. barriers to our success and happiness. But Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus flip this narrative on its head. They tell us, when life throws you a curveball, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn?" This is a game changer. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, penned in his personal writings, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What he means here is that every obstacle, no matter how daunting, not only tests our resilience, but also teaches us valuable lessons. It's about finding the silver lining in tough situations and using it to fuel our growth. This perspective isn't just ancient philosophy, it's backed by modern thinkers too. The famous psychologist Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists." By fighting against obstacles, we give them more power over us. But by accepting and learning from them, we can overcome them. This mindset is about transforming challenges into stepping stones towards becoming stronger and wiser. Let's make it practical. Say you're facing rejection from job applications. It's easy to fall into a spiral of self-pity and doubt. But what if you viewed each rejection as feedback? Maybe there's a skill you need to improve, or a new strategy for your job search. That shift in perspective can turn a series of rejections into a path for professional development. Another example is personal conflicts. They're uncomfortable and stressful, but they also offer a chance to practice patience, empathy, and communication skills. Every disagreement is an opportunity to understand different viewpoints and refine our conflict resolution abilities. The essence of embracing obstacles as opportunities lies in asking ourselves, what can this situation teach me? Instead of being passive victims of circumstance, we become active learners and problem solvers. This doesn't mean that facing obstacles becomes easy, but it does mean that we approach them with a mindset geared toward growth and learning. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the heart of Stoicism. It's about seeing beyond the immediate pain or frustration of an obstacle and finding the lessons and opportunities it presents. So, when you're faced with a challenge, big or small, try to pause and reframe it. Ask yourself what you can learn from the situation and how it can make you stronger and wiser. Remember, obstacles aren't just hurdles to overcome, they're opportunities to grow. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life's ups and downs with more grace, resilience, and wisdom. 3. Living in the present moment. It's something we hear about all the time, right? Live in the now. But what does that really mean, and why is it so important? Living in the present moment is about fully embracing and experiencing where you are at this very second, not letting your mind wander off to the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of yesterday. It's about realizing that life, with all its beauty, challenges, and surprises, happens in the now. This concept isn't new. It's been a cornerstone of philosophy, echoed by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and reiterated by modern psychologists and thinkers. Let's start with the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." He understood that the power of living in the present lies in its ability to ground us, to clear our minds of distractions, and to allow us to appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds. But why is it so hard to stay present? Our minds are often cluttered with thoughts, worries about what's next, or replaying things that have already happened. This constant mental noise pulls us away from the beauty and potential of the here and now. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung put it, the least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Living in the present moment gives meaning to the small, everyday experiences, enriching our lives beyond measure. Aristotle talked about the importance of being mindful of the present to achieve eudaimonia, or a state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. He believed that by focusing on the here and now, we could live a virtuous life, making the most of our human experience. So, how can we practice living in the present? It starts with mindfulness. The art of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you eat, savor each bite. When you walk, notice the feeling of the ground under your feet. Listen actively when someone is speaking to you, instead of planning what you're going to say next. These simple acts of mindfulness bring us back to the present, making our lives richer and more meaningful. Seneca offered this wisdom. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. He understood that anxiety about what's to come or what has been only serves to diminish our happiness in the now. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It's about finding a balance where we learn from our past and plan for our future, without letting those activities consume our present. It's in this balance that we find peace and contentment. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to reset and refocus on the now. It's in the present that we live, love, and make memories. So, let's make a conscious effort to be more present in our lives. Let's cherish the now, for this moment, right here, is where life truly happens. 4. Building self-discipline. I know the word self-discipline might bring to mind images of rigid schedules and a life devoid of fun, but let's reshape that picture together. Self-discipline is not about restricting your life. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that align with your deepest values and long-term aspirations. It's choosing what's right for you, not what's easy in the moment. At its core, building self-discipline is about mastery over ourselves. It's about saying yes to things that serve us and no to things that don't, even when it's tough. Think about it, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, saving money instead of impulse buying, or turning off Netflix to focus on a project. These choices might not deliver instant gratification, but they pave the way for long-term satisfaction and success. Stoic philosophy has a lot to say about self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement highlights the essence of self-discipline. It's about controlling our impulses, emotions, and actions despite the external temptations and distractions that life throws our way. Seneca offers wisdom on the subject too. He advises us to be steadfast and control our desires, rather than being controlled by them. He understood that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our appetites. But why is self-discipline so critical? Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, sheds light on this. He believed that we achieve excellence and virtue through habit. By practicing self-discipline, we cultivate habits that lead us toward our best selves. It's not about occasional acts of willpower, but about consistently making choices that reflect our values and goals. Building self-discipline also ties into modern psychological understanding. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our personality to live fully. This integration requires self-discipline, as we must navigate the desires of different parts of our psyche, choosing paths that contribute to our overall well-being and growth. So, how can we build self-discipline in our daily lives? Start small. Pick one area you want to improve, whether it's your diet, exercise routine, or spending habits. Set clear, achievable goals and take it one day at a time. Remember, every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, you're building the muscle of self-discipline. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Self-discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's about progress, not perfection. Every day presents new opportunities to practice self-discipline, to choose actions that move us closer to who we want to be. Building self-discipline is a journey. It's about finding balance between what we want now and what we want most. It's about making choices that might be hard in the moment, but will bring us closer to our goals, happiness, and peace in the long run. No, let's commit to this journey together, supporting one another and choosing what's right, not what's easy. Remember, in the realm of self-discipline lies the path to achieving our dreams and living in the life we truly love. 5. Developing emotional resilience. When life throws its curveballs, we all experience a whirlwind of emotions. Feeling angry, sad, or frustrated is a natural part of being human. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the emotions we feel. It's about how we handle them. That's where the magic of emotional resilience comes in. Emotional resilience is like this superpower that allows us to navigate through life's storms with grace and come out stronger on the other side. It's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and then taking positive steps to move forward rather than being swept away by the tide of our feelings. The Stoics had a lot to say about this. Marcus Aurelius, for example, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound insight touches the essence of emotional resilience. It's about recognizing that while we might not have control over what happens to us, we have control over how we respond. Our emotions don't have to control our actions. Seneca offers wisdom on facing adversity without losing our composure. He teaches that life's hardships are tests of our character and resilience. By facing our feelings with understanding and patience, we can grow wiser and more robust. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean, finding the balance between excess and deficiency. This concept applies beautifully to emotional resilience. It's about finding a balanced response to our emotions, not suppressing them or letting them overpower us. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our psyche to achieve wholeness. Part of this process involves confronting our emotions, understanding them, and learning from them. This is at the heart of developing emotional resilience. So, what can you do when you're in the grip of strong emotions? First, give yourself permission to feel. Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Then, take a step back and try to understand what triggered these feelings. This reflection can provide valuable insights into your emotional patterns and triggers. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder that our reactions to our emotions can shape our experiences. Instead of being reactive, we can choose to respond in a way that is constructive and healing. Developing emotional resilience is a journey. It involves practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and patience. It's about building a toolkit of coping strategies, like journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing relaxation techniques. Most importantly, it's about treating yourself with kindness and compassion as you navigate through your emotions. Emotional resilience is not about never feeling negative emotions. It's about learning to ride the waves of those emotions with grace and coming out on the other side stronger and more self-aware. By developing emotional resilience, we empower ourselves to face life's challenges with courage and poise. Let's embrace this journey together, supporting each other and becoming more emotionally resilient, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life. 6. Memento mori. Remember, you will pass away. The Stoics used this concept not to create fear, but to inspire a deeper appreciation for every moment. They believed that by keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we would live more fully, consciously, and with gratitude for the present. Marcus Aurelius in his meditations often reflected on the transience of life, encouraging us to live in a way that's true to our values and to make the most of the time we're given. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, he wrote. This isn't about being morose. It's a call to action, a reminder to focus on what truly matters, to let go of petty concerns, and to live with purpose and integrity. Seneca, too, spoke about the shortness of life, urging us not to waste time on trivialities, but to focus on creating a meaningful existence. He believed that being mindful of death encourages us to live more wisely and to cherish our relationships and experiences. Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on the present and making the best use of our time. By remembering that we won't live forever, we're more likely to live ethically and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life. How can we incorporate memento mori into our own lives without it feeling like a dark cloud over our heads? It starts with shifting our perspective. Instead of seeing the awareness of death as something fearful, we can view it as a powerful motivator to live our lives to the fullest. It's about embracing the present, not postponing our dreams or happiness for some undefined future that's not guaranteed. Think about the things you've been putting off. Maybe it's pursuing a passion, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply taking time to appreciate the small joys of everyday life. Memento mori reminds us not to take our time for granted. It encourages us to live more authentically, to say what we mean, to love openly, and to be present in our lives. This concept also teaches us to appreciate the impermanence of life, which in turn deepens our gratitude for the moments we have. When we remember that our time is limited, we're more likely to cherish our experiences, to live more mindfully, and to express our gratitude for the people and moments that enrich our lives. So, let's use memento mori, not as a source of fear, but as a catalyst for growth, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation of life. Let it remind us to make choices that align with our deepest values, to cherish our relationships, and to savor the beauty of the present moment. Remembering that we will die one day encourages us to live more fully today. In embracing memento mori, we find a powerful reminder to live, not in fear of death, but in celebration of life. Let's make every moment count, not because we're afraid of its end, but because we're in love with life itself. Let's live in a way that, when our time does come, we can look back with no regrets, knowing we lived fully, loved deeply, and appreciated the incredible journey that life is. 7. Practicing gratitude. It's fascinating how such a simple concept can profoundly impact our lives. Gratitude is about shifting our focus to what we have, rather than dwelling on what we're missing. This practice can be a real game changer, especially on those days that feel like an uphill battle. The Stoics, wise as they were, had a lot to say about gratitude. They believed that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what we already have. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present and finding joy in the simple things. He said, "When you will rise in the morning, Think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This is gratitude in its purest form, recognizing the value of life itself and the many gifts it offers us each day. Seneca talked about how our desires can lead us astray, always chasing after more and never finding true satisfaction. He suggested that by focusing on what we have and understanding that the best things in life are already within our grasp, we can find real contentment. Epictetus, known for his followers to appreciate their current circumstances, whatever they might be, he believed that by accepting and finding value in our present situation, we could live a more fulfilled life. But how do we practice gratitude, especially when life throws curveballs our way? It starts with making it a daily habit. Each morning or evening, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. This practice helps rewire our brains to focus on the positive, boosting our mood and overall outlook on life. Gratitude also means embracing challenges and finding lessons within them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective helps us appreciate our experiences, both good and bad, as valuable steps on our journey. Moreover, practicing gratitude helps us build stronger connections with others. By expressing appreciation for the people in our lives, we not only brighten their day, but also strengthen our own resilience. A simple thank you can go a long way in showing someone that they're valued and loved. Aristotle spoke about the importance of recognizing the good in our lives and striving for a virtuous life. He believed that gratitude was key to achieving eudaimonia, or true happiness, as it allows us to appreciate the goodness around us and within ourselves. Even modern psychology supports the benefits of gratitude. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly experience less anxiety, sleep better, and have a more positive outlook on life. As Carl Jung said, the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. By acknowledging and being grateful for the full spectrum of our experiences, we find a deeper, more authentic form of happiness. So let's make gratitude a cornerstone of our daily lives. Let's celebrate the small victories, cherish the moments of connection, and find joy in the simple pleasures. By focusing on what we have, not on what we're missing, we can cultivate a sense of abundance and happiness that shines from within. Remember, it's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness. Let's fill our glasses half full, raise them high, and toast to the beauty of gratitude in our lives. Cheers to finding the silver lining, even on the cloudiest of days. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. The Stoics had a profound understanding of personal excellence. They believed that excellence, or virtue, is the sole good, and that everything we do should aim toward living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, is a prime example of someone who strived for personal excellence. He once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates the essence of personal excellence. It's about embodying the values we admire and striving to live by them every day. Seneca emphasized the importance of self-improvement and continuous learning. He advocated for a life lived in accordance with nature and reason, suggesting that true excellence comes from within and is reflected in our actions and choices. Epictetus highlighted the role of personal responsibility in achieving excellence. He taught that our reactions, emotions, and will are within our control, and mastering them is key to living a life of virtue. But what does focusing on personal excellence look like in our day-to-day lives? It starts with setting personal standards based on our values and aspirations, not on societal expectations or the achievements of others. It's about knowing who we are, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and taking consistent steps toward improvement. Personal excellence is also about resilience. It's about how we respond to setbacks and failures, not just our successes. As Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. This means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than seeing them as obstacles. Moreover, focusing on personal excellence involves cultivating a growth mindset, a concept championed by modern psychology. It's the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages us to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see effort as a path to mastery. Personal excellence also means living authentically. It's about being true to ourselves and our values, even when it's not easy. It's about making choices that reflect who we are and who we want to be, and taking pride in our journey, including both the struggles and the triumphs. Practicing gratitude, as we discussed earlier, ties into personal excellence too. By appreciating what we have and where we are on our journey, we foster a positive outlook that supports our growth and well-being. So let's commit to focusing on personal excellence. Let's set our own standards, embrace our unique paths, and take pride in our progress. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being proud of who we are and how we live. It's about celebrating our efforts, learning from our experiences, and always striving to be the best versions of ourselves. Together, let's make personal excellence not just a goal, but a way of life. 9. Not caring what others think. In a world saturated with social media, where likes, follows, and comments often dictate self-worth, it's easy to fall into the trap of valuing ourselves through the lens of others' opinions. But here's a liberating truth. Your worth isn't based on external validation. It's about being true to yourself, embracing your authenticity, and living in alignment with your values. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers we often turn to for timeless wisdom, had much to say about this. They taught that our inner peace and freedom come from focusing on what's within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and our integrity, not the ever-changing opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinions of others." This striking observation highlights a paradox many of us live with, valuing others' judgments over our own self-assessment. Seneca echoed this sentiment by emphasizing the importance of living a life true to one's self, not one shaped by the expectations or approval of others. He believed that true contentment comes from within, from living a life that aligns with our principles and values. Epictetus taught that worrying about others' opinions is outside our control and therefore not worth our energy. He encouraged focusing instead on our own actions and on living virtuously, as that's where our true power lies. So, how can we start caring less about what others think and more about being true to ourselves? First, understand that you are the author of your life story. You have the power to define your worth, not society, not your social media followers, nor the people around you. Ground your self-esteem in who you are, the values you stand for, the kindness you spread, and the effort you put into being your best self. Second, practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I making choices based on my desires, or am I trying to fit into someone else's mold? Reflecting on these questions can help realign your actions with your true self. Third, embrace vulnerability. Being true to yourself means being open about your flaws and all, understanding that we are reflections of our progress, making mistakes and learning from them. This authenticity attracts the right people into your life, those who appreciate the real you. Moreover, remember the words of Aristotle, who spoke about the golden mean, finding balance in life. Applying this to our concern for others' opinions means finding a healthy balance between considering constructive feedback and maintaining our autonomy and self-worth. Incorporating a Stoic mindset into our lives means understanding that our worth is determined by our virtues, our actions, and our commitment to living a meaningful life, not by external accolades or approval. It's about building a strong inner fortress that remains unshaken by the fleeting opinions of others. Let's commit to valuing ourselves for who we truly are, not for the likes, follows, or approval we receive. Let's be courageous in our authenticity, living lives that resonate with our deepest truths. Remember, your worth is inherent and unique. By being true to yourself, you shine your light in the most genuine way possible. Let's not just navigate life, but thrive in it, with the confidence that comes from knowing we are living authentically, aligned with our values, and true to ourselves. 10. Accepting change. Here's the thing, accepting change is not just necessary, it's vital for our growth and happiness. The reality is, the only constant in life is change. Learning to go with the flow and embrace life's inevitable shifts makes navigating them less scary and more of an adventure. The Stoics had an incredibly healthy perspective on change. They saw it as a natural part of the universe's rhythm. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" This profound acceptance of change as part of life's fabric helps us understand that each change, whether we perceive it as good or bad, has its place in our story. Seneca taught that becoming too attached to our current circumstances can lead to disappointment because inevitably those circumstances will change. He advised us to be flexible and to understand that change is not just a part of life, but a necessary component of our personal development and happiness. Epictetus encouraged us to distinguish between what we can control and what we can't. While we can't control our attitudes towards them, this mindset is incredibly empowering when it comes to dealing with change. It's about focusing on our responses, finding opportunities for growth within the change, and moving forward with resilience. But how can we become more accepting of change? First, by acknowledging that change is inevitable. It's the natural order of things. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Seasons change, people come and go, and our very selves are renewing themselves as we speak. Embracing change means embracing life itself. Second, by practicing mindfulness. Being present in the moment allows us to appreciate our current experiences without clinging to them. This awareness creates space for acceptance when those experiences inevitably evolve or come to an end. Third, by seeking the lessons in change. Every shift in our lives, no matter how challenging, comes with opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective can turn the challenges of change into stepping stones for personal development. Aristotle spoke about the importance of pursuing a virtuous life as the key to happiness. A part of virtue is adaptability, the ability to navigate life's changes with grace and wisdom. It's about finding balance and harmony within the flux of life. Modern psychology supports this Stoic approach to change. Viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat can significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels. It enhances our resilience, making us better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. let's remind ourselves that change is not just something to endure, but to welcome as a natural, enriching part of our journey. By accepting change, we open ourselves to new experiences, growth, and the beautiful unfolding of our unique paths in life. Remember, going with the flow isn't about passivity. It's about actively engaging with life in its full dynamic complexity. Let's navigate the currents of change with courage, grace, and a heart open to the endless possibilities that change brings. 11. Practicing compassion and empathy. Despite our differences, we're all in this together, navigating the complex journey of life. By fostering an understanding and caring attitude toward others, we contribute to making the world a kinder, more loving place. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who continue to enlighten us with their timeless wisdom, placed great importance on the virtues of compassion and empathy. They believed in the interconnectedness of all humans and taught that kindness and understanding toward others are essential aspects of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, reminded us that human beings are social creatures by nature, meant to live in harmony and cooperation with one another. He said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This beautifully illustrates the idea that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Seneca emphasized the importance of treating others with kindness and generosity. He argued that compassion is a natural human instinct, and that by helping others, we also help ourselves. In his writings, Seneca encourages us to extend our empathy even to those who have wronged us, understanding that they too are acting out of their own struggles and limitations. Epictetus taught that we should strive to understand others' perspectives, recognizing that everyone has their reasons for their actions. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather approaching others with a mindset of empathy, seeking to understand their experiences and viewpoints. But how can we practice compassion and empathy in our daily lives? It starts with listening, truly listening, to the stories, experiences, and feelings of those around us. It's about putting ourselves in their shoes, imagining their struggles, their joys, their fears, and their hopes. This act of understanding can bridge the gap between us, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. Another way to cultivate compassion and empathy is through acts of kindness, no matter how small. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear. These can all make a significant difference in someone's day. By being present and attentive to others, we signal that they matter, that their feelings and experiences are valid and important. Practicing compassion and empathy also means being there for others in times of need, offering support and understanding without judgment. It's about recognizing the value and dignity of every person, regardless of our differences. The ancient philosopher Aristotle spoke about the importance of friendship and the role of empathy in building strong, meaningful relationships. He believed that true friends not only share in each other's joys, but also in their sorrows, supporting each other with empathy and understanding. Modern psychology supports the Stoic emphasis on compassion and empathy, showing that these virtues not only enhance our relationships, but also our own emotional well-being. By caring for others, we foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and happiness in our own lives. Let's remind ourselves that behind every face is a story. Behind every action is a reason. By understanding and caring for each other, we make the world a kinder, gentler place. In doing so, we not only enrich the lives of those around us, but also find deeper fulfillment and joy in our own lives. Together, let's spread kindness like confetti, creating ripples of compassion that transform the world, one act of empathy at a time. 12. Reflecting and reviewing regularly. This is about taking a pause, a real, meaningful pause, to look back on our actions, our thoughts, and the paths we've tread. It's about growth, introspection, and aligning our lives with our deepest values. In a world that's always rushing forward, this practice is our anchor, ensuring we're not just being swept away, but are sailing in the direction that's true to us. The Stoics, with their profound insights into human nature, placed immense value on the practice of reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, which we now treasure as meditations, offered a model of this practice. He didn't just rule an empire, he took the time to examine his life, his decisions, and his moral compass through writing. He saw this reflection as essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," he wrote, reminding us that our internal dialogue shapes our external reality. Seneca recommended regular self-assessment as a way to foster self-improvement and wisdom. He likened life to a play, suggesting that we periodically review our roles and performances. Are we acting in harmony with the character we wish to embody? Are our actions reflective of the script we value? The script of our lives? Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a review of their actions and attitudes. This wasn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and growth. He urged us to ask ourselves, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? What duties were left undone? Through such questions, we can steer our lives more consciously, making adjustments that bring us closer to our ideals. But how do we incorporate this practice of reflection and review into our modern lives? First, by making it a habit. Dedicate a few minutes each day, perhaps before bedtime, to reflect on your day. What were your victories? Where did you face challenges, and how did you respond? This practice can start as a mental exercise, but writing it down can enhance its benefits, giving you a tangible record of your journey. Second, use reflection as a tool for gratitude. In reviewing your day, also take note of the moments, no matter how small, that brought you joy or gratitude. This balances our natural tendency to focus on the negative, cultivating a more positive outlook on life. Third, approach this practice with kindness and compassion toward yourself. Reflection is not about berating yourself for mistakes, but about recognizing them as opportunities for learning and growth. Be as understanding and supportive to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. Aristotle spoke about the importance of living a reflective life. He believed that true wisdom comes from understanding ourselves, our actions, and our place in the world. This reflection is the essence of living an examined life, one that's in accordance with virtue and excellence. In modern psychology, the benefits of regular reflection are well documented, showing improvements in mental health, clarity of purpose, and personal growth. Reflecting on our experiences helps us process emotions, learn from our actions, and make more informed decisions moving forward. Let's commit to this practice of reflecting and reviewing regularly. Let it be our guidepost, ensuring that we are not just passively experiencing life, but actively shaping it according to our values. By taking the time to look back, we gain the insight needed to move forward more aligned, more aware, and more in tune with the essence of who we are and who we aspire to be. Did you know that most of us are only tapping into a fraction of our true potential? That's right. Somewhere beneath the daily grind, the endless to-dos, and the comfort of routine lies a powerhouse of untapped strength and capabilities. It's like discovering an old dusty lamp in your attic, only to realize it's been a treasure chest all along. This is the kind of rut that sneaks up on all of us from time to time. But here's where it gets interesting. According to Stoic philosophy, we're not just passive observers of our lives. We're the architects. Stoicism teaches us that our potential is a powerful force, shaped moment by moment through our actions and decisions. It's not enough to recognize your potential. You have to live it, breathe it, and make choices every day that reflect it. Now, let's get real for a moment. If you feel like you're not living up to your full potential, you're not alone. It's a common feeling, but common doesn't mean harmless. It's a sign, a nudge, really, that it's time to wake up, to shake off the dust of complacency, and to start steering your life with intention and purpose. Why settle for just getting by when you could be shooting for the stars? So, why do we get stuck? It's often because we're avoiding discomfort. We stick to routines, to the known paths because they're safe. But Stoicism invites us to look beyond comfort, to see the growth that comes from challenge, from pushing beyond our limits. It's about being proactive, about facing life head-on with courage and resilience. This isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Think about this. Every day you have a choice. You can continue to live as you are, or you can take a step, however small, towards something greater. It's not about massive leaps or overnight success. It's about gradual, consistent effort. And yes, it's tough. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But isn't a bit of discomfort worth it if it means realizing your true potential? That's what we're diving into today. How to step out of the shadow of mediocrity and into the light of your greatest potential. How to live not just any life, but a life filled with purpose, achievement, and true fulfillment. And if you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple, free favor I'll ask. Hit that subscribe button. Let's explore how to make every day a testament to what you are truly capable of achieving. No more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect moment. It starts now. Let's talk about a trap so many of us fall into without even realizing it. Mediocrity. It's a silent, creeping fog that envelops life so gradually you might not notice until you're completely engulfed. It's settling for good enough instead of pushing for great. And it's not about shaming ourselves or others for not being overachievers. It's about recognizing when we're holding back from our true potential. You see, mediocrity isn't just about lack of achievement or settling into the lower tiers of your abilities. It's more insidious. It shows up in the excuses we make for why we can't move forward, in the procrastination of tasks that could lead to improvement, and in the comfort zone that keeps us from stepping into challenges. It's the, "I'll start Monday," or "I'm just not good at this." It's these small, seemingly benign thoughts and actions that cement a mediocre life. The Stoics, however, had a powerful antidote to this plight. They believed in living according to virtue and reason, striving to reach a state of moral and philosophical self-mastery that transcends the ordinary. For them, the pursuit of a virtuous life was the pursuit of the best version of oneself. They challenged themselves to turn obstacles into opportunities and regarded every hardship as a chance to practice virtues like courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. Incorporating this Stoic mindset can shift how we perceive and tackle mediocrity. It's about asking yourself, am I acting out of habit or choice? Is this truly all I am capable of, or am I capable of more? These questions aren't meant to criticize, but to awaken. They're prompts that push us to reflect and then act with more intention. When we live stoically, we live deliberately. We make choices that are not just easy or convenient, but that are aligned with our greatest good and our most authentic selves. So, how do we break free from the rut of mediocrity? It starts with awareness. Acknowledge where you're accepting less than you deserve or could achieve. Maybe it's in your job, where you do the bare minimum because the passion has fizzled out, or in your relationships, where you hold back from deeper connection due to fear of vulnerability, or perhaps it's in your personal goals, which you've put on indefinite hold. Once you identify these areas, challenge them, not all at once, but little by little. Set goals that scare you a bit. Reach out to someone who inspires you. Take up a project that requires you to learn and grow. The key is consistent, incremental effort. And yes, there will be failures and setbacks. But remember, as the Stoics teach, it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Each setback is a chance to learn, to adjust, and to try again with a deeper understanding, strength, and resolve. And let's not forget about the company we keep. Just as mediocrity can be contagious, so too can ambition and growth. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who encourage you, who help you to rise up. Community is a powerful catalyst for transformation. In a group where excellence is nurtured, you'll find it hard not to grow. We all have that voice inside our head, the one that whispers doubts and feeds on our fears. It's like a constant companion whose favorite hobby is talking us out of our dreams and aspirations. But here's the thing. That voice, your inner critic, doesn't have to dictate your life. It's time to take back control, to silence the doubts, and to transform the way you engage with yourself. The Stoics had a fascinating approach to dealing with the internal dialogue that holds us back. They taught that we should not be disturbed by our thoughts because they are not the truth of who we are. They are merely impressions that come and go. Instead, they encouraged us to question our initial reactions to things, to challenge the validity of those negative whispers, and to respond with reason and virtue. This is where the practice of prose, or attention, becomes vital. It involves being mindful of our thoughts and the judgments we make about them, ensuring they align with our true character and aspirations. And now, think about how often you've caught yourself saying, "I can't do this, I'm not good enough," or "I'm just not cut out for this." These statements are your inner critic's way of keeping you within the bounds of what's comfortable. But growth, as we know from Stoic wisdom, is born from discomfort. By recognizing these thoughts as mere opinions, not facts, you empower yourself to challenge and change them. How do you practically kill your inner critic? Start by observing your thoughts as an outsider. When a negative thought arises, pause and reflect. Is this thought helpful? Does it align with my goals? Is it a rational response or an emotional one steeped in fear? This practice, inspired by the Stoic exercise of reflection, allows you to detach from harmful self-criticism and respond with a more rational, compassionate perspective. Let's also talk about the power of counter-narratives. For every critical thought that arises, actively construct a positive counterpart. If your mind says you're going to fail, counter it with, "I have prepared as best as I can, and I will learn from whatever comes." This isn't about sugarcoating reality. It's about providing a balanced view that includes your strengths and capabilities. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to embrace challenges as opportunities to test and refine our virtues. So when your inner critic tries to steer you away from a challenge, see it as an opportunity to practice courage and perseverance. Each time you confront a fear or doubt, you weaken the hold your inner critic has on you and strengthen your commitment to personal excellence. It's also helpful to cultivate an environment that reinforces your new mindset. Surround yourself with affirmations, whether they be quotes from your favorite Stoic philosophers, reminders of your past successes, or simple affirmations of your worth and capability. These serve as constant reminders of your path and help drown out the noise of your inner critic. Lastly, remember that silencing your inner critic is a journey, not a one-time event. It requires patience, persistence, and a lot of self-compassion. Mistakes will be made, and that's okay. What's important is that you keep moving forward. Keep challenging those negative thoughts, and keep aligning your actions with your true potential. Stepping out of your comfort zone might sound like a cliche plastered over countless motivational posters and self-help books, but there's profound truth hidden in those words, especially when viewed through the lens of Stoicism. The Stoics weren't just philosophers, they were practitioners of life, and they believed deeply in the value of testing one's spirit against the friction of the world. It's in the struggle, they argued, that we find our true strength. Let's break down what this means in everyday terms. Discomfort isn't just about physical strain or emotional stress. It's about confronting the parts of life that you instinctively want to avoid. It could be as simple as waking up an hour earlier to meditate or exercise, or as challenging as speaking up in a meeting when you'd rather blend into the background. These moments of discomfort are actually opportunities, golden tickets to the kind of personal growth that creates lasting change. When you deliberately choose discomfort, you're doing something quite revolutionary. You're saying to yourself and the world that you're not content to remain stagnant. You're echoing the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort, where you might choose to wear simpler clothes, eat simpler food, or expose yourself to the cold, not as a punishment, but as a way to remind yourself that you can handle less than optimal conditions and thus you are stronger than you think. The beauty of embracing discomfort in this controlled way is that it prepares you for life's unpredictable challenges. Think about it. If you make it a habit to push your boundaries in small, everyday ways, you're building up a resilience that's akin to a muscle. Then, when life throws something truly difficult your way, a job loss, a tough diagnosis, a personal setback, you're better equipped to handle it. You're not easily knocked down because you've practiced standing up again and again. Moreover, Stoicism teaches that our character is shaped not by our thoughts alone, but by our repeated actions. Each time you choose to step into discomfort, you're sculpting a version of yourself that's a bit tougher, a bit braver, a bit wiser. And over time, these qualities accumulate, crafting a persona that not only survives challenges, but thrives through them. To start integrating this practice into your life, begin with something small. Identify one thing that you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable or challenging. Set a goal to tackle it this week. Maybe it's initiating a difficult conversation you've been putting off, or committing to a public speaking engagement despite your fear of crowds. Notice the resistance that comes up, the excuses, the justifications, and gently remind yourself of your ability to endure and adapt. As you do this, it's crucial to maintain a mindset of curiosity and non-judgment. Observe how you feel before, during, and after the experience. What did you learn? How did your perception of the challenge change? How did your perception of yourself change? These reflections are invaluable, as they help solidify the lessons learned from each experience of discomfort. Remember, embracing discomfort is not about tormenting yourself or seeking out pain for pain's sake. It's about expanding your boundaries, one small step at a time, in ways that enhance your life and deepen your character. It's about living in accordance with Stoic principles that value growth and resilience over comfort and ease. This approach doesn't just prepare you for life's challenges, it transforms them into the very experiences that shape a bold, capable, and virtuous life. One of the most powerful tools in your personal development arsenal is accountability. It's like having a workout buddy for your goals. You know the feeling. When someone else is counting on you, you're way less likely to hit snooze or skip out. But here's the twist. In the journey toward living your best life, you're not just accountable to others, you're primarily accountable to yourself. And that's where the real growth happens. In Stoicism, there's a heavy emphasis on personal responsibility and self-discipline. The Stoics believe that our character and our lives are the results of our choices. They teach us to own these choices and to face the consequences with courage and integrity. This sense of responsibility toward oneself is fundamental because it underpins everything. From your daily routines to your life's ambitions, let's talk about how you can enhance your sense of accountability. It starts with making your goals visible. Write them down, not in a private journal tucked away in a drawer, but somewhere you can see them every day. It could be a big whiteboard in your room, a note on your fridge, or even a digital reminder that pops up on your phone. Visibility reminds you of your commitments and helps keep them at the forefront of your mind. Next, integrate regular check-ins on your progress. This could be a weekly review where you sit down and ask yourself some hard questions. What did I accomplish this week? Where did I fall short? What can I do differently moving forward? These sessions aren't about beating yourself up for missed targets or lapses. Instead, they're opportunities for honest, constructive self-reflection. A practice deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics were all about self-examination and learning from every action and outcome. Sharing your goals with someone else can also magnify your commitment. Choose a friend, a family member, or even a mentor. Someone who will not just cheer for you but will also call you out when you're off track. This creates a layer of external accountability, which can be incredibly motivating. It's about creating a social contract where you feel a sense of duty not to let the other person down, which in turn strengthens your resolve to meet your own expectations. In addition to involving others, there's a Stoic method that can be particularly effective: envisioning the ideal version of yourself. Seneca, one of the prominent Stoic philosophers, encouraged frequent contemplation of one's highest potential. By regularly imagining yourself as the person you aspire to become, you create a mental benchmark for your actions. Ask yourself regularly, Is what I'm doing right now aligning with the virtues of the person I strive to be? This mental modeling acts as a North Star, guiding your daily choices and efforts. Let's not underestimate the power of setting up a system that rewards your progress. The rewards don't have to be extravagant. They just need to acknowledge your efforts and successes. This could be as simple as treating yourself to a favorite meal, taking a day off to relax, or buying that small thing you've been eyeing for a while. Rewards reinforce positive behavior and make the journey enjoyable, which is essential because, let's face it, the path to self-improvement can be tough and demanding. It's often said that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This saying has more truth to it than you might realize at first glance. The people around us have a profound impact on our thoughts, behaviors, and ultimately our success. But it's not just about success in the conventional sense. It's about growing as a person, cultivating wisdom, and building a life that's rich in character and satisfaction. Stoic philosophy places a strong emphasis on community and relationships because the Stoics understood that humans are inherently social creatures. We influence each other in countless ways, many of which are subtle and subconscious. Seneca, a renowned Stoic thinker, advised choosing friends who embody the traits we wish to develop, suggesting that their characteristics would naturally rub off on us. By surrounding ourselves with people who are wise, virtuous, and purpose-driven, we are more likely to adopt these qualities ourselves. Think about the people you spend most of your time with. Are they ambitious, optimistic, and resilient? Do they challenge you to think differently, push your boundaries, and question your assumptions? Or do they uphold the status quo, resist change, and nurture negativity? It's essential to make these assessments honestly and decide if your circle is pulling you forward or holding you back. Creating a powerful network doesn't mean you need to start cutting people out of your life ruthlessly. Instead, it's about consciously deciding to spend more time with those who inspire you and support your growth. This can mean reaching out to mentors, joining clubs or groups aligned with your interests, or even connecting with like-minded individuals online. The key is to engage with people who not only support your goals but also encourage you to surpass them. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us about the importance of contributing to our community. It's not just about what you can get from your relationships, but also what you can give. Being a valuable member of your network involves offering support, sharing knowledge, and being genuinely happy for others' successes. The more you invest in your relationships, the richer your interactions become, and the more profound their impact on your life. This concept of mutual growth is vital. As you strive to be the best version of yourself, you should also seek to uplift those around you. This can be through simple actions like providing a listening ear, offering encouragement during challenging times, or sharing resources that have helped you. Each of these actions strengthens your connections and builds a network that is not just beneficial, but also meaningful. Remember, your network extends beyond just friends and family. It includes everyone, from your colleagues and acquaintances to the people you meet at events and conferences. Each interaction is an opportunity to learn something new and to leave a positive impression. Approach each conversation with curiosity and respect, qualities much admired by the Stoics, and you will find that building a strong network is a rewarding endeavor in itself.